Hi, hello, welcome back everybody to the Dough Cooking Show, to the Dough Cooking Stream. If you're currently watching this live, it is 5:01 p.m. EDT, April 19th. Welcome back. It's good to have every single one of you. Hello, hello, hello. And I see that we have all of my lovely little sous chefs in chat. We did it right the first time. We got our intro correct the first time, so please excuse me. Hello to Underestimated Monkey, hello to Dosky, hello to Jack, hello to Sin Mogu, hello to Trash Can Cat Mom, hello to Banu2K. Welcome on in. It's good to have all of you. Hello to Kalu Unit, I'm not sure how to say that. Hi, it's good to have all of you. Also, welcome on in Dazed in Daydreams. So, it's good to have every single one of you today. I'm really excited about today's stream because this is actually a very specific food memory I have, and so I'm really excited to talk about it today. Is everybody listening? Is everybody watching? Is everybody tuned in? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, from everybody that is here right now in the moment. Okay, so my friends, let's talk about what we will be doing today. Today we're going to be doing a dish that is actually quite special to me, and that is a French lentil salad. This is going to be a French lentil salad with some sauteed sausage and some greens. But let's talk about this specific lentil salad. So as you guys may know, I'm an esports commentator. I travel around for different commentary gigs. And so, at a certain Smash event called Colossal back, last year in the summer, I was in Lyon in France. And when I was out there, I was taken to this really nice restaurant called, Brasserie Georges or something like that. And at this restaurant, and it's very common for French restaurants to serve like a lentil salad as an appetizer. There was a specific lentil salad, and it was so simple. It was super minimalistic, my friends. It was this green lentil salad, and inside it was this really super simple, super delicious, creamy raspberry dressing, like this raspberry vinaigrette, and some red onions. And that was it, and it was so simple. But the lentils were perfectly cooked. The texture of those lentils were incredible. The taste of those lentils, I never had green French lentils up until that point. It was just so simple. It was so minimalistic. It was like perfectly acidic. It was a little bit sweet from the raspberries too. It was such a delicious, balanced salad. And so guys, that's what I wanted to do today, especially because also, wait, that's not enough people saying, yes, chef. I want to try that again. I want to make sure that everybody's listening. I want to hear a nice yes, chef. Also, welcome on in, Gate Man. So guys, we're going to talk about these lentils really quickly. These are French lentils. These are from Le Puy, I believe is the region. I believe that's the place where it's from. And so we got to talk a little bit about these lentils, guys. So, very embarrassingly, up until doing some research for doing the salad today, I knew almost nothing about lentils whatsoever, despite lentils actually being one of my favorite foods. I make a lot of beans, I make a lot of other grains, I make a lot of rice, but I've never actually really made that many lentil dishes aside from like a dal ones. And so, let's talk about varieties of lentils, guys. And so, as you guys may know, there's a lot of different lentils out there. Red lentils, yellow lentils, brown lentils, green lentils, black lentils. And so guys, I'm gonna blow all of your minds right now really quickly. So it might seem almost intimidating and almost like inconsistent, like, hey, there's so many different varieties of lentils out there. And what I've actually learned is that essentially they can be grouped into two categories: peeled and unpeeled lentils. These kinds of green lentils, think green lentils, brown lentils, black lentils, are unpeeled. They have that papery skin. But things like red lentils, things like yellow lentils, they're actually peeled and then sometimes also split as well. And so the red and the yellow lentils, they cook up super quickly. They cook up really easily because of the fact that they don't have the skin on them. The skin significantly slows down the cook time, but this keeps the lentils a lot more intact. And so guys, the best lentils for a salad will be green lentils, black lentils, brown lentils, any skin on lentil. Lentils that are really good for stews would be things like red lentils and yellow lentils because they have the skin off of them. And so they basically break down a lot more, they turn a lot thicker, and they turn into mush, while these sort of keep their grain size. So, question, how do you do your shoppings for your stream and for yourself as well? Underestimated Monkey, all the shopping for my streams is for myself because all I'm doing is really cooking home food here. So, guys, I hope I just educated you guys a little bit on lentils. And so these are French lentils. The cook time and the actual cooking method would be probably identical between black lentils, brown lentils, and other kinds of green lentils. These French lentils are a little bit more expensive. And so, guys, what I've had happening behind the camera, I've been soaking the lentils. I have a cup of lentils and 4 cups of salted warm water, and I was giving them a bit of a pre-soaking. And that's because America's Test Kitchen had like a really good video on this. What's Eating Dan had a very good video on this. But like soaking the lentils beforehand in some salted water, it allows them to hold their shape a little bit better, and it makes the outer skin a little bit more flexible so it doesn't burst when it's cooking. And so guys, we're gonna cook it really, really gently. And so my friends, let's talk about the next component. For today, guys, we have some of these lovely little raspberries, which I've just had straining off because I washed them off. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly transfer them into a bowl. So let me just go ahead and drain that off really quickly. Just dry off my bowl, and so I'm gonna show you guys my lovely raspberries. And so, it is going to be entirely from scratch. That's right, Underestimated Monkey. We have some really, really lovely, really beautiful raspberries here. Also, John Dahlia, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for the sub. Hope you're having a beautiful day today. So guys, these are going to become our raspberry vinaigrette today. It's going to be blended down. We're going to have a bunch of oil. We're going to have some Dijon. It's going to be really delicious. It's going to be really, really simple. This is also a really nice way of getting rid of some overly acidic or some older raspberries. Okay, so I did just buy a box of raspberries for this dressing today. But if you guys have any raspberries that are starting to like slightly go bad, making a raspberry dressing out of them is amazing because you get to just completely destroy that texture. Okay guys, and now that's basically going to be it for the salad, minus of course we're going to have a little bit of lemon juice inside. We're going to have some lemon zest, and then I have some lovely red onions here, and the red onions we're going to chop up. We're going to figure out how we want to do those. And then guys, let's talk about my sauteed sausage and greens. I have here the best sausage that I have locally available to me, and I need everybody to understand, and I need everybody to tap in. I need to make sure that all of you are listening to this, because I have something very, very important to say. The best thing that you can do is to not pursue authenticity, but to basically just use the best ingredients that you actually have around you. I don't have any good French or Italian sausages near me. However, I have a Latin American supermarket, I have a Mexican little butcher shop near me, and so I get this really, really good quality chorizo from them. I encourage you to just simply get the best kind of raw sausage for this kind of a dish, because we're going to be sauteing the sausage, be it sweet Italian, hot Italian, andouille, whatever the best sausage available to you is, that is what I would do for this kind of a dish, my friends. And they're all fairly more or less interchangeable and similar. Are these spicy sausages or just natural? Underestimated Monkey, they have a little bit of spice, but these are not super, super spicy. Also, Icon, welcome on in. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you. So guys, I have here some chorizo, but again, you can use any kind of sausage that you want. I'm purely using this chorizo because it's the best that I have around me. And so guys, I also wanted to go to my grocery store when I was doing the shopping for today. I just simply wanted to get inspired. So right now in season, because guys, we're in the springtime, so you know what that means. We have some really, really beautiful broccoli rabe. Also, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Icon. So guys, broccoli rabe. This is a really, really delicious plant. It's a very delicious vegetable. It's one that's really, really underused. We're going to be boiling it, and then we're going to be sauteing it with the sausage, and then we'll also be doing some kale. And so guys, again, if you do not have broccoli rabe available to you, you don't need it. It's gonna be okay. You can use collard greens, you can use Swiss chard, rainbow chard. I'm also gonna be blending this with some kale, guys. I have some really, really beautiful kale here as well. So guys, use spinach, use these thick, leafy greens, and make the most out of them. Just use whatever you have available to you. Is that clear? Can I please get a yes, chef? So I never want you to be recreating this. I picked out kale and broccoli rabe, because again, it's what I have locally available to me at the moment, and because it was pretty cheap at the supermarket. Also, welcome on Ingestilence. Okay, so that should do it for the majority of the ingredients. I also have some parsley. We talked about the lentils. We talked about everything else that we're gonna do. So guys, today's stream, hopefully. Also, thank you so much for the gifted sub to Raintooth. Thank you. Also, Slowboo, welcome on in. Guys, today's stream might be on the shorter end of things. I know I keep saying this over and over again. We need a yes chef emote that we can spam. Chow Yard, I'm working on it. I promise. So yeah, today might be a bit of a shorter stream, but you know what guys, it'll be okay. It'll be just a nice chill stream. Chef, do you have another easy fast-made food like biscuits? I'm too lazy to cook for something long these days. Jack, I don't really have an answer for you immediately. Also, hello Scallywag, welcome on in. So, everybody, before we begin, once again, if you haven't already done so, please check out my Patreon if you'd like to support the cooking show, exclamation mark Patreon, or you can just go down into the About section below to help financially support the stream. As always, everybody, if you have any questions about anything that we're actually making, if you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to ask. It can be about this dish, it can be about something else. 26 stacks, I'm using a really good quality local chorizo that I have, but I encourage you just to use the best of whatever you have available to you. So guys, again, it can be about this dish, it can be about techniques, because remember, at the end of the day, I am here to help you learn how to cook, and I'm here to help you learn how to cook at home, especially. Okay, I want to help build you all in understanding. So there's no such thing as a bad question. All questions are welcome, all questions are good. And everybody, with that being said, let us begin. And so let's talk about the lentils that we will be using for today. So guys, the kinds of lentils that you can use and are ideal for a lentil salad. Because again, these Le Puy lentils, these like French green lentils, they do tend to be a little bit more expensive. Did I finish Doki Doki on You Guys See My Monkey? I did that like 5 years ago. Absolutely I did. So guys, again, I just encourage you to use whatever lentils you actually have available to you. If you can get French green Le Puy lentils, then go ahead and go for it. Otherwise, green lentils, black lentils, brown lentils, all of those will be good. Except the only kinds that you cannot use for a salad would be any peeled lentils. So no split peas, no red lentils, and no yellow lentils. Can I please get a yes, chef? I want to make sure that everybody understands this. Okay, and guys, and to show you that the inside of a lentil is just like a red lentil or a yellow lentil, there's like a little demonstration on America's Test Kitchen where they like took it and then they like peeled it up a little bit, right? They peeled it up in their hands. And guys, as you can see, we've just exposed it. And inside we have sitting, I believe that's like a yellow lentil, right? Isn't that pretty cool? I think that's pretty cool. So we are intentionally leaving the skins on, my friends. So we let these soak in some salted water for about an hour. Guys, I've made lentils very, very few times before. I really want to get into the habit of making lentils because I love Indian food. I love lentils. They're super, super delicious. I love legumes. I love pulses. They're super cheap. They're super affordable. It's the food of the people. They're full of protein, or rather amino acids, but then it becomes proteins. Okay, they're really, really good for you. Everybody should get into the habit of cooking lentils. And so that's what this is for me today. I want to be better about this. This is my first time cooking lentils in a very long time. I want to make lentil cooking a part of my regular routine. I'm very annoyed at myself for not having done this before because I was always intimidated. I never really understood what was going on. So guys, 1 cup of lentils to 4 cups of warm salted water. Once again, the warm salted water, I forgot the specific scientific reasons as to why we're doing this, but it's because it just makes it more flexible and it stops it from sort of swelling up too much and bursting as it cooks. Are lentils good for the fiber source? Underestimated monkey? That might be a Google question for you. So guys, we have all of these lovely lentils. They've been sitting here, they've been soaking. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to prepare the pot in which all of my lovely lentils will be cooking. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set this behind me really quickly. And so guys, we're going to be starting off with just 1 carrot, and it's going to go directly into the pot. A little bit of carrot, a little bit of bay leaf, and that's just going to go ahead and make our lentils really, really delicious and really, really aromatic. And so guys, I'm going to be keeping all of this stuff on. All I did was I scrubbed it. We don't need to peel it. We don't have to do anything else to it. The only thing I'm going to do though is I'm just going to slice it in half. The reason why I don't want this cut up into little chunks, I don't want this cut up into little cubes, is because I don't want it to mix with the lentils. I just want the carrot to impart its sweetness, and then I want to be able to easily take it out after. The next thing that I'm going to do, guys, because of the fact that I'm working with parsley today, because parsley will be featured inside of the salad, I'm going to go ahead and also add the parsley stems into the cooking liquid. The parsley stems normally we discard, but they still have a lot of flavor, and so once we just take off a few of the stems, or rather the leaves, guys, we'll just go ahead and tie up a little bundle. Does everybody understand? Does everybody understand why we're doing this? So normally, again, I would throw away my parsley stems, but today, I'm feeling different. Today, I want to be better. I want to treat this parsley a little bit better, okay? So let's just go ahead and just pluck off all of the leaves from the stems. I intentionally left some more of the stem on today just so that I could do this, okay? And I just move all of the leaves aside. And then I'm going to keep all the stems right here nicely bundled. So guys, does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? We just have to go through all the parsley. We got to pluck off the leaves. And guys, as always, the way that you keep herbs fresh, a container, a Tupperware with a paper towel. The paper towel is a very nice way to regulate the humidity. Too wet and then it turns soft and brown. Too dry and then it ends up turning yellow. By having a paper towel in there, guys, you get to keep your parsley fresh for up to a week. Also, for this specific dish, my friends, you can use any kind of soft herb that you desire. You don't necessarily just have to use parsley. You can use cilantro, you can use even basil, just use whatever you have actually available to you. And that is the best way to go about cooking these kinds of things. Okay, and so let's just do a few more parsley stems. Right, guys, we're just minimizing waste. We're minimizing waste. We're getting all these leaves plucked off, and then we'll come back to the leaves later on. We're making the most out of what we have today. Okay, and pluck that off. And I think that should be enough parsley stems to actually go ahead and flavor my lentils for today. So I'm going to go ahead and just set this bad boy behind me because I have no more use for him at the moment. And then I'm going to go ahead and take all of my parsley leaves and set them aside onto a little teeny tiny plate. And so guys, again, because I don't want my parsley to sort of collapse and overcook and sort of pollute all of my lovely lentils, we're going to tie them up into a little bundle just to make sure that we can keep all of them together. Okay, so just making sure that I'm gathering them all up. I'm getting myself a nice little bunch of all of my parsley stems. Okay, just like that. Awesome. And now I'm gonna go ahead and get a little bit of butcher twine. And my friends, let's just go ahead and tie it up. You have to use like a butcher twine. It has to be like a natural fiber. You don't want any polyester or anything because it'll melt, and you don't really want more plastics in your food. We already have plenty. So Jack, you asked me, can you cook with black tea? And my answer is yes and no. The issue with overcooking tea is that it becomes really, really bitter. You can easily over-extract it. So you can, but I would add it towards the end of certain things, or I would first brew the tea separately. But the issue is, again, like you can burn the tea, so to speak. You can make it a little bit too bitter. So as long as you do not overcook it, Jack, you can absolutely cook with black tea. That would be my answer for you. Also, in traditional, like mainland Japanese cooking, I believe it's called washoku, right? And when I say like traditional Japanese cooking, I don't mean like things like sushi, I don't mean like curry or like ramen. I mean like really, really old school Japanese cooking. There is a certain dish where they basically pour in rice and they mix it with green tea. A lot of people don't love traditional Japanese food because they find it very bland. And a lot of it is actually quite dated in some ways. But yes, so that is an application of where people cook with green tea specifically. Right? So guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and just bundle this up. And again, I'm just bundling this up so I can easily take it out after. Also, Luigi, welcome on in. It's lovely to have you. Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you, thank you. So guys, I got my parsley bundled up here really, really nicely. And again, probably, I'm just gonna rip off this so it doesn't accidentally break off. I'm keeping this tied up really, really nice and tight. I'm gonna go ahead and do one more because I don't want this to collapse into the lentils. I just wanna be able to put it in and take it out. Pluck it in, take it out, guys. Nice and easy. And so we're just making the most out of an existing byproduct that we have, right? There's still gonna be plenty of lentils inside of the salad properly. So take that, tie it, and let's go ahead and give that one more knot all the way through. And guys, that is gonna be my bouquet garni of just parsley stems. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my butcher twine behind me. I'm gonna go ahead and put it away. And guys, the next thing that we're going to need for the lentils, and again, feel free to flavor this any way that you would like, guys. You can use any kind of alliums. We're basically seasoning this the same way that we would beans and a chicken stock. I'm also going to have a few bay leaves, and I'm making sure to count them. And I'm not gonna have any of the super, super tiny bay leaves because I just wanna be able to easily pluck them out after, okay? And I'm not like, tying up the bay leaves because it just gets a bit of a hassle to do so. They're really, really crunchy, they're really stiff, and so they're not very flexible. Okay, so there's that. And guys, the last thing that I'm going to do, because of the fact that we're already cooking with red onions today, I'm just going to go ahead and take the top of the red onion off because that's normally already reserved for scrap as it is, okay? And so we're just going to be adding this into the pot alongside all of my lovely lentils, guys. So again, we're making the most out of all of our existing byproducts. The only thing that I'm gonna do though, I'm just gonna peel off like that top layer. And so guys, again, we're not chopping this, we're not dicing it. We're intentionally keeping all of this stuff whole so that we can then easily take it out after. I'm not gonna do any garlic inside of the lentils. I think I might just have a little bit of garlic inside of the dressing itself. And so guys, that's going to be all of my aromatics for it. Is everybody listening? Is everybody still watching? I wanna hear the nice yes, chef. Also, John Dahlia, Danish, Japanese fusion. I know nothing about that at all. Wow, that does sound fascinating. Okay, guys, I'm just gonna be straining off my lentils really quickly. Just straining them off, getting them out of here. Okay, because again, we just soak them in all that salted water, and then I'm just going to be exchanging that water in just a second, my friends. Okie dokie. So guys, let's go ahead and go on over to the stove. And on my stove at the moment, I have a saucepan ready to go for my lovely lentils. Just tap them all out. And guys, we're going to need, again, this was a cup of lentils that I had soaked. We're going to need roughly 4 cups of water or so, although I don't think this is super precise. This is not like we're cooking rice or anything, you know? So I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to eyeball it, and then we'll figure it out and go with the vibe. That's 1, like tall cup, maybe like 3 of these, and that will make like a full cup. Full 4 cups or so. And that's 2. And again, guys, you could cook these in chicken stock, although I just think it's like a little bit weird to cook it in chicken stock if it's going to be cold and in a salad format. So water is just fine in an application like this. And again, they've been soaked in salted water. The salt is going to, again, help them hold on to their shape a little bit better as they cook. Okay, guys, so that is roughly 4 cups of water. Again, I'm not going to be too crazy about the measurements of this. I barely cook lentils. Do they soak up as much water as rice? No, underestimate a monkey. But actually, I don't think I have much of an answer for you. And the reason why I don't have much of an answer is because I'm actually really inexperienced with cooking lentils. So guys, this is for me as much of an experiment because I want to get into the habit of making this. I don't know why I've put this off for so long. This is one of my favorite foods. It's one of my favorite things to eat. And yet, I haven't actually done the proper work for it. Okay guys, and so I'm going to just go ahead and drop in all of my lovely aromatics, my onion, my bay leaves, my carrot, as well as my parsley, although my parsley stems could be added towards the end of the cook time itself. So, it'll be fine. Let's not micro this too much. Let's just get the parsley directly inside. And guys, I'm just going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to be bringing it up to a simmer. Chef will post a great lentils recipe on your Discord, Chef. Thank you, Sluber. Okay, guys, so here's a trick to this. This might take anywhere between 40 and 60 minutes of cooking. Everybody, I need you all to tap in. I need you all to listen. I need to make sure that I have all of your attention right now, please, and thank you. I need to make sure that you're all present for this. So, this lentil is very, very delicate. It is incredibly delicate. I do not want you blasting this thing with heat. And it's not the heat itself that will actually cause it to overcook, but it's the actual agitation. Because of the fact that boiling water is turbulent and it's aggressive and it's moving everything around, it's going to end up breaking up your lentils, and then we'll also be overcooking the outside before the inside is done. My friends, this is a lentil that is destined for a salad, okay? This is a lentil that is destined for a salad. And so I don't want to end up with lentil mush by the end of it. Okay? I don't want it to break up all of my lentils. The goal is for the skin of the lentil to stay somewhat intact. So again, my friends, gentle, and I mean gentle stirring, gentle simmering, and this is going to be roughly between 40 minutes and 60 minutes of cook time. Red lentils and yellow lentils, because they have no skin, they cook up a lot faster is my understanding. Green, black, and brown lentils, they take a little bit longer. It's the same idea with brown rice and white rice. Brown rice is not processed, right? You don't take off the bran, you don't take off the germ, and so it takes 40 minutes to cook. White rice is processed, and so it takes 20 minutes. And so guys, that is our analogy here. We're basically cooking the brown rice of lentils. So I'm going to go ahead and just get a little tiny coaster plate. And again, I'm using the America's Test Kitchen method, which was, it was soaked in some salted water. I'm just going to go ahead and just stir this around a teeny tiny bit, just to make sure that everything inside of the pot is evenly distributed. And then guys, we're keeping the aromatics nice and whole so that we can go ahead and take them out. Jack, you asked me if we can post recipes in the Discord. You can, as long as it's about some sort of discourse. I don't typically love, guys, as you may know, I don't like teaching like recipes per se. I teach you techniques, I teach you theory, and thus, that's why I implore you to ask me any and all cooking questions. So, the lentils, all we have to do is we have to gently simmer them, my friends. I don't want to boil them. I don't want to attack them with a bunch of heat or anything. All I really want to do is just gently simmer it. And so, again, it might take anywhere from 15 minutes to 30 minutes, and we do not want to overcook them, okay? Sorry, I just have to check something. Okay, lovely. Where do I buy my pans and pots and what material? Good question. It depends on what I'm looking for under Recipe and a Monkey. So this is my Mavier pan. It's really, really good. It's a really good quality pan. It depends on what your budget is. So in terms of actually buying cooking equipment and gear, it is incredibly, incredibly dependent on budget. Okay, so guys, while that is happening, I actually need to go ahead and bring this other pot of water up to a boil because we're going to need it for some blanching purposes soon. I'm actually going to go ahead and put my sausage into the fridge really quickly. And this pot of water is going to be used for some blanching. And we're going to get to that shortly, my friends. So take that, bring that up to a boil. Okie dokie. And please forgive me, I did not take out a lid for it. So it's just going to be 1 second. I don't actually know. Okay, I found it. That's a lid. That's the lid I've been looking for. We're gonna go ahead and take this pot, my friends, and we're gonna go ahead and bring it up to a nice aggressive boil. So let's talk about what else we need to get done in the meantime. We gotta slice the sausage, we gotta cook the sausage, we gotta process all the vegetables, we gotta make the vinaigrette, we have to chop the onions. Guys, there is a lot, and I do mean a lot to get done for the salad. It's a really minimalistic salad, just gonna be sliced parsley, chopped up onions, lentils, and dressing, but we're going to give each of our components a lot of love, my friends, a lot of care, and a lot of affection. So, just have to check something really quickly. My apologies. Okie dokie. Evening from the UK. Well, welcome on in, Haley the Cake Lady. How'd you find the show? How'd you find the cooking stream? So guys, as always, if you're ever confused about what we're doing, you can type in ! menu. You can ask me a question at any point. All that we have in here is we have the carrot, we have the onion scrap, and then we also have the bay leaves. And so my friends, let's go ahead and begin with everything else that we need for the salad. I have a hair tie ready to go. Just gonna go ahead and tie it up. And guys, I cannot believe it took me this long to actually get into cooking lentils. Also, Scribbler, welcome on in. I love lentils. They're so cheap. It's in many ways the food of the people. I put in cooking and found you. Well, Haley the Cake Lady, it's lovely to have you. And so guys, while that is going, welcome to the best cooking show on Twitch. It is customary for everybody here when I tell them something to say yes, chef. So I would like to hear a nice yes, chef from everybody that's still currently watching and listening. So, guys, as always, on my table, I have a little waste bowl ready to go. This is where I put all of my scraps, anything that is destined for the trash. You do not want to be always moving between your table and the trash can, Have a waste bowl ready to go. Yes, it's one more dish, but it's going to go ahead and make your life so much easier in the long run. And so, guys, we have to now talk about how we want to process the red onions for the salad. And so let's talk about this really quickly. Red onions are really, really beautiful in a salad because they're very aromatic, they're very strong, and they also look quite beautiful. But there is one problem with the humble red onion. It is incredibly, incredibly pungent. And so there's a couple of ways that we can go ahead and mitigate and help out with some of the pungency. One of the things that I love doing is to soak it in some vinegar, especially if I'm going to be using that acidity later on to be able to build a dressing. And so what I want to do is I want to have finely diced red onions. I want to finely dice them. I'm going to do half a red onion's worth for the salad. And then I'm going to be soaking it in some of the lemon juice. And that lemon juice is going to be used later on towards building the vinaigrette. But while the red onion is sitting inside of the lemon juice, it's actually going to kill some of that pungency, some of that harshness. Because the thing that I hate most, guys, is biting into a massive chunk of red onion, and it's immediately pungent, it's immediately stinky, and it's just so much heat for no reason. Have I worked in some kitchens? Underestimated monkey. I apprenticed when I was younger. Okay, and so let's just go ahead and get the bowl for that all ready to go for us. Where the onions are just going to be getting soaked inside of the lemon juice. And in fact, guys, let's just go ahead and process up the lemon right now. We'll also be using the lemon zest, so let's go ahead and set that aside as well. So guys, I have here a microplane. If you don't own a microplane, I really recommend investing in one. They're really good for Parmesan cheese and they're really good for citrus zest. The majority of the flavor within citrus, my friends, I need you all to listen. The majority of this flavor in citrus is inside of the zest, not the white part, not the flesh, and not the juice, but it is almost exclusively within the outer skin. And so we're going to be taking that delicious, super perfumey, super aromatic lemon zest, and we're going to be adding it into the salad and into the dressing. And so guys, really gently, you don't want to go into the pith, the white part of the lemon, okay? You just want to be able to zest up the outside of the skin. And so what I like doing, not using it like a cheese grater, is to use it like this and just zest it up like that. So guys, less is more with this. You don't have to go super crazy. You don't have to use all of the lemon's worth of zest here, as long as you just don't get any of the pit. Don't get any of the pit, excuse me. Okay, so we have all of this lovely lemon zest, my friends. And let's get a little bit more. Okay, and this is all just going to be added directly into the salad dressing for today. And so, I'm gonna go ahead and get my little blender cup that I've already set aside for it. And guys, again, we never want the lentils to be boiling. We never want it to be boiling. We never want it to be bubbling. We don't want to over agitate it. Guys, the key to these lentils is to gently simmer them, to gently cook them. And then you will have perfectly cooked, tender lentils that are not falling apart. I'm going to use my bench scraper. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop this up. And I'm going to go ahead and just throw that into my little container. And this is where we will be building the dressing, my friends. Okay, so I'm going to be doing, I think for today, a mixture of lemon juice and red wine vinegar. I'm going to be opting on the smaller side because my raspberries are super acidic, okay? And so, in order to make sure that my dressing is not too acidic, we'll be a little bit more careful with it. The golden ratio for salad dressings, volumetrically, 3 parts oil to 1 part acidity. Okay, but again, you can play around with this ratio as much as you would like. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and just take this lemon, okay, and we will be juicing it directly into this bowl. This other lemon I'm going to be using for the sausage later on, so I'm just going to go ahead and set that one behind me. But this one's going to be used for the dressing. And now guys, I have another chance to talk about one of my favorite kitchen tools. Guys, I adore my citrus press. Squeezing a lemon with your hands is a very nice way to develop eczema. It dries out your hands, it's really acidic, and also it can be really tough and difficult. I think everybody should be investing into a citrus juicer. Can I please get a yes, chef? And so this is my favorite one. This is a KitchenAid tabletop one. And the reason this one is so nice is because we get to go ahead and keep it on the table instead of all in our hands. So guys, let me teach you how to use this tool, because everybody puts it skin side down, flesh side up, because they want to perfectly fit it inside of the hole. You do this and all the lemon juice is going to squirt up. That is a mistake. We want to put it flesh side down. And I know that looks counterintuitive, but guys, this tabletop one just makes quick work of this lemon. Beautiful. And now let's get all of that lovely, gorgeous lemon juice inside of this bowl. You can hear that squish. You can hear that burble, right? Get all of the lemon juice. Let's get every single last drop of it. Oh, look at all of that lemon juice, my friends, that we just got from half a lemon. Instead of using our hands. Okay, no seeds, that's absolutely right. Until my lemon juicer, my citrus juicer, I'm going to set behind me because once again, we're not going to need it for a little bit of time. And now guys, we have to go ahead and begin processing the red onion for today. I'm going to go ahead and glove on up because again, I have eczema and I want to protect my hands. Okay, and for today, I think I'm only really looking for like half a red onion. And when I say half a red onion, this is something that people outside of the United States are always so confused about. Our red onions and our onions in general are massive here. They are absolutely huge. Okay, like guys, I need you to understand that this is a big onion. Okay, and so we're doing half of a large onion. If you're anywhere else in the world and you see a recipe that says half of an onion, you could probably use a little bit more than that. Also, it's not completely exact. Also, Ben Shukov, welcome on in. So my friends, we have this red onion. We're only going to be, once again, just using half for today. You can use any kind of onion that you would like. Why am I using a red onion? Guys, I'm trying to recreate the specific salad that I have a really strong memory of. This really strong, important memory. I was in France. I was in Lyon. I was there working a Smash commentary gig. And so this was a salad that I had at a really lovely restaurant. And I want to try my best to recreate the salad, and I want to practice cooking with lentils. It's a very delicious salad. It's so simple. Why are American veggies so big? Good question. Something capitalism and breeding and GMOs and whatnot, I'm sure. So guys, we have this lovely little red onion here. And when I say little, it's quite a substantial red onion. I am going to be looking for a small dice. Everybody, please say it with me. What kind of a dice? What kind of dice do I want? I want a small dice. I am not looking for any massive pieces of red onion inside of the salad. I want it to essentially emulate the texture of all of my lentils. So think of the little teeny tiny lentils, and thus we're going to be pursuing a small dice for today. My friends, we're going to be doing the onion fan method. So the root is being kept attached, and all we're going to do, guys, is we're going to gently, thin slices all the way through. We're going to be fanning out this onion all the way, all the way, all the way, Lovely. And then, my friends, we need to go ahead and make some incisions. So we have the onion fan, and now for the onion brush. Any tips for onion tears? Understatement monkey. The reason you're crying when you cut onions is because your knife is dull. Sharp knife and you will not cry. Okay? So guys, let me go ahead and show you this. I'm going to zoom in through this. I'm going to take my onion. I'm going to hold it to the edge of the table. And I'm going to hold my hand to the top of the onion. To the top of the onion it goes. And my friends, I'm just going to be making a nice horizontal incision all the way through. Okay? And then I'm going to be making another horizontal incision because, again, I'm looking to get a small dice for today, my friends. So now that we've made all those incisions, I just want to go back and quickly check on my lentils, make sure that they're not cooking too aggressively. I'm going to lower my heat. The lower the better for these kinds of lentils, okay? The lower the better. Be nice and gentle to them, my friends. The lentils are your friends. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to cook them too hard and too fast because they will just end up breaking up. So we gently stir it. It is a doki doki shoot. Is the water bowl placed so that the onions gets it? Well, hold on, I'm confused what you're asking here. So, guys, in this bowl I have the lemon juice, and that's going to help kill some of the pungency of the onions. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pursue the small dice of your dreams. Just like this. And whenever your cutting board gets a little bit too crowded, guys, just take your bench scraper and scoop it up. Chef, what if I don't do the horizontal incisions? Then you don't have to. But the reason you cut yourself, Serena, is because you weren't watching your fingertips enough. You have to be really careful with your fingertips when you do that. So, we're just going through all of this. Okay? And again, whenever the cutting board gets too crowded, I'm just going to clean it up so we don't accidentally go through it again. Okay? Look at that, guys. Nice, small dice. Not super fine. We're not doing like shallots here, but nice, small dice. Okay? And let's just keep on going. Are we talking green lentils, brown lentils? So, Billy Zane fan, we're using French green lentils from Le Puy. But brown lentils, black lentils, and green lentils, it is my understanding that they all cook somewhat similarly, and the differences in taste and in texture. Red and yellow lentils are not good substitutes for this kind of a dish, because the red and the yellow ones are the ones that are skinless, and they basically turn into mush. They get super soft. Okay, so guys, I have inside of this bowl all of my lovely lemon juice. Okay, this is my lemon juice, and I'm mixing it first with the onions. We'll be using this lemon juice later on as the salad dressing when we build the vinaigrette itself. But a very nice added bonus is by taking the red onions and coating them inside of the lemon juice, my friends. We're able to 2-in-1 kill the pungency of those onions. Okay. But yeah, no, Haley, we could talk about knife skills and knife safety all day long. And if anybody has any technical questions about knife skills, I am more than happy to go ahead and answer them. So, my red onions, they're soaking here with the lemon juice. I'm going to go ahead and just quickly rinse off my knife. Because again, this is a carbon steel knife. I'm using a carbon steel creamery knife. It's carbon steel, meaning that it will rust in response to, anything acidic, anything stuck to it, anything too wet. Okay? That pot of water is boiling. That's going good. My lentils, they're cooking a little too aggressively, guys. Gentle simmer. Also, Johnny Boy, I do use idiots. What can't you do with lentils? Great question, Drag Like Pull. Guys, it's good to have all of you. How's everybody doing today? Is everybody good? I want to hear a nice yes, chef. Even if you had a bad day, it's even better now. Okay, guys, I'm drying off my knife really quickly. Just going to go ahead and get that done. And then we're going to go ahead and quickly inspect my lentils. Just check up on them and see how they're doing. Shay, welcome on in. How'd you find the cooking show? How'd you find the cooking stream? Treat the lentils with some kindness. Oh, I am. I promise you. So, guys, gentle cooking is the key. They're big with curry. Some people use them as sides in fine dining. Absolutely. I love lentils to death. I just want to get more comfortable cooking with them. Guys, gentle cooking. We're not making dal. We're not making a lentil soup. Okay? We're gently boiling it so that the lentils do not fall apart. By over-boiling them, they hit each other too much, they become over-agitated, and then they start breaking apart. We want to have a really beautiful lentil salad, my friends. And for a beautiful lentil salad, okay, for a really beautiful, simple lentil salad, we just want to be super delicate. We don't want to overcook them. Maybe 15 or 30 minutes. We're just going to be tasting it every now and then. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just set a timer for about maybe 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes. And then in 10 minutes time, I want to taste the lentil and see how they're going. Guys, I'm really new to cooking lentils. I don't have an exact time for you. Different kinds of lentils will also take different amounts of times to cook. And so this is all a part of me becoming more comfortable slowly with the aspect of cooking lentils. So in 10 minutes, we're gonna taste it. And that is the best way, by the way, to build up intuition of something, especially when it's something that doesn't need to have a lid. Just go through it and just taste it every now and then. See how the texture changes, see how the flavor changes. That's how you build up culinary intuition, my friends. You have to observe it, you have to study it, and then with time, you'll be able to just develop another sense for these kinds of things. Okie dokie, so all that we have done so far, guys, we have soaked my red onions inside of the lemon juice itself. Let's go ahead and continue building the rest of what we need for the dressing today. Guys, this is gonna be a raspberry dressing. Can you make hummus or cream soup out of lentils? So yes, Jack, but it would have to be out of red lentils and yellow lentils. And people do that stuff all the time. So many different Indian dishes, right? So many different lentil soups. But red lentils and yellow lentils are ideal for that. So guys, let's go ahead and get my raspberries inside. All I did was I just washed them out nice and good. This is a really, really nice way. If you have any mushy raspberries, as long as they're not moldy, old raspberries make for excellent dressings, guys. Okay, so everything that I want to teach you in the show, guys, is what do you do with ingredients, especially when they've been sitting in your fridge, especially when they're a little bit older. Let's say you bought some fresh raspberries and you had a really, really delicious fruit salad. You could make a jam, just like Jack said, but by the time that you have these old raspberries, you have to think about what they're really, really good for. And so applications where you cook them, where you process them, where you break them down is ideal for these kinds of things. So guys, I'm just going to go ahead and get each of my lentils inside. Okay, every single one of them, one by one by one. I love raspberries. I love raspberries so much. And I'm trying to think how many raspberries I actually want to use for the dressing today. Guys, so really quickly, I do want to clarify something. We will not be blending it with the olive oil. And this is actually something really interesting that I want to talk about. We're going to get into some food science. Well, some amount of food science really quickly. So, when it actually comes to blending olive oil and making salads and blending olive oil, what happens is when you over-agitate olive oil, you actually end up getting a lot of bitterness out of it. The olive oil, instead of being like super aromatic, super perfumey, over-agitating it, over-blending it, whipping in too much air, actually breaks some of the emulsion of the olive oil. And so what we're going to do, guys, we're going to create a vinaigrette base with this, with the lemon juice, with the blanched parsley, and then we'll be whisking in the olive oil into it slowly after the fact, okay? I just wanted a few as a snack first. So good. I could have probably used a few more for this dressing, but that's totally okay. That's just fine by me. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, my friends, I just want to go ahead and go back to my lentils and just, again, gently stir them. Make sure nothing is sticking to the bottom. Make sure that they're all evenly cooking. Gently, and I do mean truly, gently stir them, my friends. Don't agitate them. Don't destroy them. Just baby your lentils. Okie dokie. I ate too many, guys, I ate too many raspberries. That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and build the next component of the dressing. For today, my friends, I'm only going to be using 1 clove of garlic inside of the dressing. You need to understand how raw garlic functions, okay? Also, why is this wet? Oh no, has my garlic gone bad? Something happened to it. Okay, that garlic all probably has to go. Okay. So, my friends, I have 1 raw garlic clove here, and something that you need to understand about garlic is when it is raw, the more that you process it, the more that you chop it, the more pungent it actually ends up becoming. Okay? If you were to cook a whole garlic clove, think of something like a roasted garlic before you cut it up at all. What's going to happen is you're going to just get the sweet flavors of the garlic, but none of the pungency. Because of the fact that this garlic clove is entirely and completely raw, we're going to need to properly not overuse it. We only want 1 garlic clove, my friends, just 1. Okay, also, I do want to debunk something really, really quickly. This is like very like classical Italian cooking theory and very classical French cooking theory. Guys, how many of you have seen people that tell you you have to take out the core of the garlic clove, especially when it turns green? You have to take out the core because it gives you heartburn or something. I'm quite convinced that that is something that people just kind of say, and it doesn't really mean anything. I've truly never had any sort of difference whatsoever, and it feels like wasting garlic. Okay, guys, and once again, I'm only going to be using one of these garlic cloves because it's completely raw. I don't want it to completely overtake it. Yeah, people like, you see like this little quarter of the garlic clove, and they take it out. I've never bothered to take it out, and guess what? I never will. I think it's completely and utterly unnecessary. I've cooked with garlic so many different times in the past. Okay, we're gonna also go ahead and get some Dijon mustard in here. We're gonna be starting off with like a tablespoon or so. Well, not a tablespoon, excuse me, like a teaspoon of some nice Dijon mustard that I have. Wait, that's the wrong one. I already have an opened one in my fridge. And again, guys, the golden rule, 3 parts oil to 1 part acidity. I'm gonna be doing like, maybe like 1/8 of a cup of the red wine vinegar because we still have acidity coming in from the raspberries and we still have acidity coming in from the lemon juice. Okay, so let's go ahead and do 1 teaspoon in total. So that's half a teaspoon. And a nice big heaping one as well, just to be able to compensate for all that was lost. Guys, the Dijon mustard is an essential component of the salad dressing. The Dijon mustard is actually going to be, and I hate using the word emulsifier, but in this case, it's actually completely applicable. The Dijon mustard is the emulsifier of the salad dressing. It's what's going to hold it together and stop the oil and water from easily separating. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and set that behind me. And then after this, guys, we're going to also need to blanch the parsley. In the meantime, yeah, I wanna just get like 1/8 of a cup at most, at absolute most, 1/8 of a cup of, whatchamacallit, of red wine vinegar. Basically just a few tablespoons, just a little teeny tiny splash, guys. Okay, oh, that's a half cup measure. That's way too much still. Yeah, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Guys, it's a salad dressing. I'm not gonna go too crazy with my ratios. Is it a chef? Honey, I am an amateur professional chef. I'm here to teach people how to cook at home. Also, welcome on in. So it's lovely to have you. You can ask me any and all cooking questions that you may have because guess what? I am here to help you. That's you. I'm here to help you learn how to cook. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just do 1 and 2. Guys, I don't love too much red wine vinegar. It starts to smell almost like sweaty after a certain point, and I find that to be a little bit unpleasant. And so we're just gonna do maybe a little bit more, a little teeny tiny touch more. Perfect. And then the rest of that is going to be the lemon juice. And guys, mixing different kinds of acids, mixing different kinds of vinegars is such a nice way to get a lot of flavor into something. So we have the mixture of the acidity, the natural acidity from the raspberries. We have the acidity of the lemon juice, of course. And then we also have the acidity from the red wine vinegar. So we have a lot of flavor this way. Also, there is no recipe for anything that I'm doing. There is no recipe. Okay, so guys, once again, garlic clove, teaspoon of Dijon mustard, raspberries, and we're not adding the olive oil inside because the olive oil we're going to be whisking in later on. In the meantime, though, the thing that I do want to check out, I want to check out how my lentils are doing. My timer has about 2 minutes left on them. Again, I don't want my lentils to explode. Guys, in fact, these lentils are looking super good at the moment. Let's taste it. That one was a little bit too firm. Almost there actually. They still have a little tiny bit of toothsomeness to them. Those are delicious, guys. In fact, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes of cook time total. They're really good. Some of them are cooking a little bit more unevenly than others. So I'm just gonna give them a little stir. And guys, let's go ahead and set a timer for like 4 minutes more, slightly bump up the heat. But again, I'm not looking for lentil mush, guys. I'm not looking for lentil mush. I'm not looking for pureed lentils. I want them to be nice and intact still. Do we keep that stock? No, underestimate monkey. We'll be discarding all of it. Because it's already done with vegetable scraps, so we don't really have any use for it. I'm really surprised with how fast these green lentils actually took to cook. The pre-soaking that we did definitely helped to cook them a little bit more. But, you know, guys, it's just almost there. It is almost there. It's super close. Lovely. Okay, so we're just gonna be waiting for that to get done. We'll be straining it off. We'll be keeping everything. In fact, the only thing that I really want to do at the moment is I want to go ahead and pluck out all of my aromatics. We added the bouquet garni of the parsley stems. We added the bay leaves. We added all of this good stuff. And so now it's already done its job. We can basically take it out now and be done with it. So the red onion, out it goes. The carrot, I'll just leave it until the end of the cook time. The parsley stems I want to take out so they don't break apart. The bay leaves have done their job. All of the lovely aromatics have done exactly what they needed to for us today. Okay, and I think that should be it. And I'll just leave the carrot inside. and give that a little teeny tiny bit more cook time. I'm not going to keep the liquid and make a sauce out of it. I don't really know if you can do that with lentil stock or anything. Again, I'm really, really inexperienced when it comes to cooking lentils. Does anybody have any questions for me in the moment? Does anybody have any questions, any comments, any concerns whatsoever? Remember, I'm here to teach you how to cook. I'm here to help you. It's not like beanstalk. It might be, Serena. It might be. And guys, once these lentils are actually done, we're going to be blanching the parsley. So let's talk about this really quickly. Let's talk about why we're blanching and what even is blanching to begin with. Blanching is the process of taking something and submerging it into boiling water for a typically short amount of time. I have all of this really, really beautiful parsley. So you might be asking me, oh, Daramgar, why are you boiling the parsley? So you might be asking me that with a French accent, and I'm going to tell you why. Guys, when you crush herbs, when you crush fresh herbs, basil, cilantro, parsley, mint, that kind of stuff, what happens is it turns brown, it oxidizes, and it ends up losing its flavor. By blanching the parsley first, aka dunking it into boiling water for about 10 to 15 seconds, at absolute most, and then cooling it off in cold water, we lose a little bit of flavor inside of the boiling water, but what we actually end up getting is something about denaturing the enzymes inside, but the parsley doesn't actually end up oxidizing because of the fact that the parsley will be incorporated into the dressing. Regular blending would cause this parsley to oxidize. A little bit of parsley, blanch it, and then going ahead and plunging it into some ice cold water is how we get a very delicious, stable salad dressing that doesn't lose its flavor. Also, Count J. Buck, welcome on in. So that's why we're going to be doing the process of actually blanching it. Okay, guys, the lentils are almost done. They just need another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and just strain off all of that cooking liquid. Okay, so that's just about ready to go. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that my strainer is ready for me. Okay, and then I'll just be carrying the pot on over to my sink and straining it off, and I'll be done with it. Okay. One of my favorite stews, gotme sabzi, fried all the herbs before putting them in so they kept their shape. Nice. Oh, that's the eggplant one, right? With pomegranate, if I'm not mistaken, Billy Zane fan. Okay, this, guys, is just about done. It's almost there. Let's just go ahead and taste the last of the lentils. You can see they're not bursting. They're not exploding. They're just perfectly, gently cooked. And that's exactly what I'm looking for a salad. I'm not making dal. I'm not making a lentil soup, guys. All that I'm really doing with these bad boys is making a salad. And so for the lentil salad, the texture is almost all of the battle. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just quickly take out the last of my carrot that was just chilling inside. The carrot did a wonderful job for us. Oop, out you go. And guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and strain this out into the sink. So please bear with me as I just quickly go ahead and get that done. Let's come with me to the sink. I don't have a sink camera yet. One day I would love to be able to invest in such a thing, but today is not that day. So guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and strain out all of my lovely lentils. Beautiful. And we're gonna rinse them with some nice cold water just to stop them from continuing to cook. Because again, it's still holding on to all of that boiling liquid. So just shocking them in some nice cold water, and then I will be left with all of my lentils. Draining off all the cooking liquid, we took out all the bay leaves. Guys, again, I apologize for not being in frame. I apologize for not being on camera for this. Let's go ahead and show you my lovely lentils. Ah, that is now finished cooking. Beautiful. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our lentils. You ready? You ready for this, guys? Let's take a look. Under the same monkey, please. Guys, here's my lentils. These are, once again, I'm using green lentils for this. For a lentil salad, you can use any kind of brown, black, or green lentils. And the reason why we can use these kinds of lentils for a salad, guys, is because of the fact that they're skin on. Red and yellow lentils do not hold on to their shape because they've already been peeled. It's essentially like the white rice, right? Brown rice has been peeled. Brown rice that has been peeled becomes white rice. Brown rice has the bran and the germ on the outside of it, and then it becomes white rice. Lentils are really similar in that way. And so we have one last bay leaf in here. I'm actually going to go ahead and just rinse this out with cold water again because it's still just continuing to steam. I really want to make sure. I want to baby this thing, guys. I want to absolutely baby it. I want to make sure that it does not overcook, that it does not stick to itself or anything. We are babying the heck out of my lentils. Okay. So we're not squishing it. We're not turning it into mush or anything, guys. We're being super, super delicate and super, super careful with them. And you guys can see that all of my lentils are intact, right? That nothing has indeed turned into that mush that we talked about. So I'm going to go back to the stove in just a second because we are going to begin the process of blanching now. Okie dokie. And my water is all ready to go for us. Okay, guys, let's go back on over to the stove. So, guys, boiling water here. This boiling water, this is where we're going to be blanching the parsley. Again, all we have to do, we just have to drop it in there for a second, for 10 seconds total, and then we have to go ahead and take it out. I need to go ahead and make sure that I have a nice bath of ice cold water. I forgot to get some ice cubes ready, and so I set like an ice cube tray like an hour and a half ago. I know for the fact it's not ready, so we will just figure it out. We'll make do. We'll make do with that, and I think it'll be more than okay. Okay, the lentils, I'm just gonna go ahead and set aside behind me somewhere. Okay, and I'm gonna be using this bowl for parsley. So, let's go ahead and get our ice bath ready to go. Get some ice cubes in there. Well, not quite ice cubes yet. They definitely did not freeze that fast, but they're basically almost there. Let's see if I can go ahead and somehow dislodge them. I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll figure it out. We just have ice cold water and these little sheets of ice. Oh, actually, I think this ended up freezing a little bit more than I gave it credit for. Okay, you know what, guys? I think this genuinely might just be kind of okay as it is. So we don't have ice cubes. We just have these like little sheets of ice. But I think for today's purposes, I think that'll just be more than fine. Let's fill this up with the rest of the water. Okay, guys, take this as a reminder that if you don't have ice cubes ready to go, please do that. Please just get your ice cubes. So just cold water, and it will be fine. It'll work out. It'll do exactly what I need it to do for us. Okay, so guys, once again, why are we going through the trouble of boiling our fresh parsley? Because of the fact that we're blending the herbs, because of the fact that we're blending them and crushing them and destroying them into this delicious salad dressing. By blanching them first, we're stabilizing them, denaturing the enzymes that would then cause them to oxidize. They're going to be a lot more shelf stable. They're going to hold onto their flavor better as it sits in the salad itself. So guys, back to the stove. I have my ice cubes ready to go here, and I'm going to use one of my favorite kitchen tools. This is called a spider. A spider is really, really nice because in one fell swoop, you can easily pick things up. So we're not using tongs, we're not using like a little pasta spoon, guys. I really, really recommend that everybody were to invest in one of these bad boys. I'm gonna go ahead and just start setting a timer. Again, this only needs 10 to 15 seconds. I need to hear yes, chef. 10 to 15 seconds. We do not want to overcook the parsley. If we overcook it, we lose all of that flavor, we lose all of that nutritional value inside of the cooking liquid itself. So guys, I'm gonna go in there with a nice big generous bundle, a nice big handful of the parsley, and it's going in, and the 10 seconds starts now. And I'm just agitating it, I'm moving it around just to make sure that it's cooking up evenly. And we're doing stems and all, because all of it's going to get nicely blended down. And now, that's it. That was the whole amount of time. That is all the time that they needed. Immediately into the ice bath and agitate it, guys. Because it's like a mop. It soaked up all of that hot water. Also, Tarina, please don't spam the chat. We got to agitate it. We got to stop it from cooking further because, again, it just soaks up, it mops up all of that boiling water. Okay, and that's it, guys. That is how you blanch herbs. Do this for pestos. Do this for salad dressings. It's one of my favorite things to do. You keep such a vibrant, delicious green inside of the herb itself. We no longer actually need this pot of boiling water for now. We'll come back to it in just a little bit of time. So let me just go ahead and slap a lid on it once again and just get that back up to a boil for later. Yep, that's just going perfectly. Okay, guys, so take a look. Hello, Cyber Golfers. Welcome on in. So take a look. We are now about to begin building our salad dressing. Here's all of my parsley that has now been properly cooled off in this ice cold water. The water is not becoming green or anything because we did not overcook the parsley. Just 10 seconds, guys. Just 10 seconds. So my blender cup, my Dijon mustard, my garlic, my red wine vinegar, and now in goes all of my blanched parsley. Stems and all, because again, guys, it's all gonna get blended down anyways. It's all gonna be delicious. Okay, and I'm just squeezing out a little bit of that excess liquid. I'm not being too rough with it, just some of the excess liquid. Out it goes. I just don't want too much liquid, guys, because it'll just water down the salad dressing. Okay, so in that goes. And now, guys, we're just gonna go ahead and hit that with a nice big pinch of salt. The salt is going to help make sure that the vinaigrette evenly blends. It's gonna be nice and abrasive, and then it's also going to be the seasoning for the salad today. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this. Said mustard with raspberry? Absolutely, I promise you. It's going to be a delicious, delicious vinaigrette nonetheless. So a couple pinches of salt. Lovely. And then we need to go ahead and get the lemon juice out of the onions. Remember, the onions have been soaking inside of all of that lovely lemon juice. So I'm going to go ahead and just set up this cute little tiny baby strainer that I have. Okay, and I'm just going to drain off all the juice that can easily come out. Well, okay, that wasn't so easy, I suppose. Maybe we'll just do a better job of it later. It's fine. Okay, I think that should be okay. We didn't get like all of the lemon juice out, of course, because it's all like coated onto the onions. So you know what? It's fine. We'll just go back to the onions a little bit later. So guys, once again, salt, Dijon mustard, raspberries, my parsley, a little bit of red wine vinegar, garlic, and the olive oil is gonna be the last addition. My friends, we do not blend the olive oil. So let's go ahead and set up a blending station. Once again, everything but the olive oil at the moment. Everything except the olive oil. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my blender. Just drop that bad boy on, and let's go ahead and cap this off. Where did I put my blender top? Did I lose my blender top, guys? Aha, I have found it. Okay, and let's go ahead and get this all blended down into a delicious little mush, into a delicious little paste. All of it completely blended. Keep it going, guys, keep it going, keep it blending, keep it blending. Can I please get a yes, chef? I want to make sure that everybody's listening. All of it blended down, all of it ready to go, guys, and this is going to be the base of our lovely salad dressing. Okay? Right here, ready to go. I just want to make sure that all of my onion, or all my garlic, excuse me, that we don't have any of it in any chunks, all my raspberry seeds as well. So a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then we'll be done with it. And that should be perfect. That's it, guys. And now we have to go ahead and we have to whisk it. We have to whisk it all up, and then we will finish off the vinaigrette with the olive oil, okay? So, let's go ahead and get that process started. Let's go ahead and get that going, guys. My olive oil is all ready to go for today. Back to my cutting board, back to my little station here. And now let's begin building it. Classic European one, yeah, Jack, we're using Dijon mustard. So we're not using like American yellow mustard for this. And again, the mustard, it's super, super functional, right? It is what actually, ooh, that smells great. Did I accidentally heat this up a little bit just through the process of blending it? Has like a little bit of warmth to it. Okay. At the moment, this salad dressing is gonna be a little bit too acidic. It's not the most delicious, guys, because it doesn't have any of the oil that we need. So that's just gonna go directly in. I've realized that by blending the parsley, we kind of gave it a hideous color. Instead of like a bright red, we kind of made it a brown by blending in the green with the red. So little color theory for you. You mix red, blue, yellow, and you get brown. Who would have thought? Who would have thought such a thing? Okay, guys, and now the goal of the salad dressing is for us to go ahead and just whisk it all up with the olive oil. And again, we're gonna need roughly 3 times the amount of olive oil as we need the wet ingredients. Okay? So, that color ain't it, chef? I know. I already know this, okay? But it's still gonna be delicious, I promise you. Okay, I just wanna make sure that my bowl is stable. I have it on a towel, okay? And then as I'm whisking, guys, I'm just streaming in really, really slowly. I'm streaming in some olive oil, okay? And the dressing is gonna get nice and thick. It's gonna get nice and delicious. We'll add in the lentils, we'll add in the red onions. It's spinning around a little bit too much. It should be okay though. I know this isn't the most beautiful salad dressing. I do apologize, but that's whatever. So just in it all goes, guys. Just trickle it in, trickle it in, trickle it in. It's gonna get nice and thick. You don't want to add it in all at once. It'll break the emulsion of everything. Again, the mustard is doing a really, really good job of just keeping everything together. Okay? It looks like a balsamic vinaigrette. Okay? But yeah, I use mustard seeds all the time when I'm making Indian food. Right? Guys, enough about how it looks. Let's think about how it tastes. Raspberries. Right? That just sounds good, doesn't it? Oh, it's getting there. Yeah, it's getting really, really nice and thick. It's getting really, really nice and rich, guys. Okay, and let's just keep whisking. Let's just keep going, keep going, keep going. Whew. It's a lot of whisking. It's a lot of effort. It's a lot of elbow work, guys. Okay, and I just want to go ahead and have a little taste. Guys, just taste it, just keep tasting and just keep going, okay? Taste it, taste it, taste it. That's the most important thing that you can do. And then we can adjust for different seasonings, different acidity, right? Guys, that is so good. Guys, that by itself already, that is delicious. Oh, the acidity of the raspberries, that little bit of the parsley, that is wonderful, that is excellent. It's definitely going to need a bunch of salt, because this has to, we have to season up a lot of lentils and a lot of onions here. So I'm gonna do like 2 big pinches of kosher salt and just whisk that in as well. The salad dressing is gonna be a little too salty. Guys, that is lovely. That is really, really nice and acidic. The raspberry flavor comes out, the parsley flavor. Okay. Yes, the red wine vinegar went into that too. Okay, and just whisk, 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 whisk. Just trickle it in, trickle it in. What if you don't have taste buds? You can still feel acidity sometimes if you don't have taste buds. Hello, Icarus. Welcome on in. Howdy, howdy. Okay, and let's probably do a little bit more olive oil, and then we'll taste the dressing once again. And the mustard, it's doing a really, really good job of just keeping everything really nice and together. That is looking like a lovely salad dressing. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Let's give that another taste. How's the acidity? How's the oil balance? That's good. That's perfect. That, my friends, is incredible. Is my necklace made out of rubber? No, I think it's titanium. I'm pretty sure. It's like a coated titanium of some kind. Okay. All that beautifully whisked together. And guys, let's just go in now with all of my lovely lentils that have been properly drained off of all of the excess liquid, because we don't need any of that lentil liquid to dilute the lovely salad that we have. So this was 1 cup of lentils boiled. Wait, what's bubbling? Oh, the dressing itself? Yeah. Well, it is going to bubble a little bit because we just whisked in a bunch of air. And now, guys, let's just go in with all of my red onions, with the lemon juice, of course. There you go. And now the last step, actually, the one thing that I did neglect to do was I did want to slice up the parsley for the salad. Let's also just go in with like a bunch of freshly ground black pepper. And then after we do the salad, we'll clean up and then we'll go on over to the sausage. So all the black pepper inside. Lovely. Okay. And I'm just going to set this next to me. And guys, really quickly, let's just go ahead and slice the parsley. This is an essential step, and we have to talk about this. Where did I put my sliced parsley? Okay, there it is. So I have here, guys, a bunch of beautiful parsley leaves. Some of this is going to be going for the sausage, and some of this is going to go directly into the salad itself. So, my friends, remember how we talked about crushing herbs and what that actually does to them? The key to beautifully sliced herbs is a nice sharp knife and to slice them. We don't chop them, we don't rock chop them, we don't crush them, we don't destroy them, my friends. We exclusively slice in this household. And let me teach you the method. When you crush, when you chop, guys, you do a vertical motion like this, you cleave it, and you're using this much of your knife surface area. You need to use the full length of your knife. So my friends, let's go ahead and take my knife here. Let's take my my parsley. Let's take it in our hands and let's bundle it up. We're gonna bundle it up and we're gonna hold it like a little baby bird. We're not going to hold it so firmly that we crush its little brains out, and we're not going to hold it so gently that it flies away. Nice in between. And my friends, we take the little baby bird, chirp, chirp, and we slice it really, really thin, but we use the full length of our knife. We're barely putting any vertical force whatsoever. By using the full length of our knife with minimal vertical force, we're going in there like a surgeon, like with a scalpel. We're not crushing the cells. We're damaging as few of them as possible, so the parsley retains all of its flavor, all of its freshness, and it doesn't turn brown. I cannot stand for the life of me chopping mechanisms. Can you use a slap chop thorax? No, unless you blanch them first. If you want to chop it, if you want to crush it, if you want to blend it, blanch it first, and then it'll be okay. But when you have a raw herb, my friends, when you have a raw, beautiful herb, look at it. It's not sticking to the cutting board. The bottom of the cutting board is not wet. That's because we didn't crush it. It didn't bleed out on my plate or anything. And so I'm just going to go through this one more time. I'm going to give it one more pass. Just slice it, my friend. Just slice it, just slice it, just slice it. Okay? Just like that. And that's it. That is all of it that it actually needs. So a good chunk of this is going to go into the salad, and the rest of it is going to go into the sausage later today. So I'm just going to go ahead, once again, using my bench scraper. I'm going to clean it up. Guys, really simple, really minimalistic salad. And now I want to gently coat everything in the dressing. I'm not smushing my lentils. I'm not destroying my lentils. I'm not pushing them around. I'm not making a lentil puree, guys. We're picking it up from the bottom and we're putting it back down. We're just pushing him around a little bit. We're bullying him a little teeny tiny bit. Okay? And that is all that this is going to need. We're not squeezing him. We're not destroying him. We are not crushing him. And now, my friends, the lentils are soaking up all of that dressing that I made. And this looks quite similar to the salad that I was going after. The salad that I had back in France, right? The one that I was thinking of quite often. Beautiful. My red onions in there for just that little bit of pungency that have been soaked in the lemon juice. The lentils themselves beautifully cooked, not falling apart. And now, my friends, everything is coated in the dressing. So let's go ahead and give it a little taste. Wow. Guys, so good. A little bit more salt, a little bit more seasoning. So 2 of those, and a little bit more pepper, and that's it. So fresh, so delicious, so simple. This is the kind of a salad that you keep in a fridge, my friends. This is the kind of a salad that you eat by the spoonful directly from the bowl. This is so simple. It's so delicious. Beautiful French green lentils, red onions, a little bit of that lovely dressing that we made, and some fresh parsley, guys. Could we add something yellow like bell peppers for color, Serena? You can if you want to. I just wanted a very minimalistic, very simple salad. Is chopping herbs hearsay? Absolutely it is, Jack. Absolutely it is. Okay, and now I think that should be good for us. Let's go ahead and have another taste of this. Guys, that salad, so simple, so nutritious, so delicious. That is wonderful. I'm gonna go ahead and take this bad boy and put him into the fridge. And that's a salad. That's all that we have to do. That was really easy. Wow. That was barely any effort at all. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and just take one little second to clean on up, because remember, we cook at home, and when we cook at home, we got to clean as we go. You start off with an empty sink, an empty dishwasher, and you load it up as you go. Whenever you're done with something, whenever you have a little bit of passive time, staying organized and staying clean is one of the most important things that you can do. Can I please get a yes, chef, please, and thank you? Okay, so I have a bunch of plates laying around, right? I have a bunch of strainers, I have a bunch of different stuff. I'm going to go ahead and just start taking care of some of it, and then we'll be done with it. Oh yeah, guys, today's stream might be a really quick one. Wow. I am actually understanding how quick today's stream is, because we're already done with one of the components, like start to finish, so. All right, that's okay. We'll slow down for the sausage step. We'll slow down for all that stuff. Okay, just gonna go ahead and throw my whisk into the dishwasher. And as always, guys, if you have any cooking questions whatsoever, please feel free to ask me. Remember, I'm here to help teach you how to cook. I'm here to help you. I'm here on your time, so please go ahead and take full advantage of this. Can I add a bit of fat like tallow to drop biscuits? Oh, that sounds lovely, Serena. That sounds great. Yes, chef, off to work. Thanks for the stream. Well, I'm happy to help, Justin. What's boiling? Folks, I just have a pot of boiling water behind me because we're still going to need it for the broccoli rabe. And we'll talk about that in a second, and we got to talk about why we're also blanching that ahead of time as well. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a second. I just want to clean up a couple more things, just get them all out of my way, out of sight and out of mind. Okay, don't need that little baby strainer anymore either. I might need this mixing bowl still, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep that out. I have no more need for the lentils, and I have no more need for my Dijon mustard either. Okay, guys, so as always, you can type in exclamation mark menu at any point to just catch up on what we're doing, and then I'll tell you a little bit about it. All that we did so far, guys, we finished one of the components for today. We finished my delicious French lentil salad. So all that we did, we took some lentils, green lentils, soaked in salted water. We gently simmered it with some bay leaves, with some carrot, with some onions. We made a lovely dressing out of raspberries, out of Dijon mustard, out of garlic, out of parsley, out of red wine vinegar and lemon juice and lemon zest. Blended it up, mixed it with olive oil, added in some red onions, added in some freshly chopped parsley, freshly sliced, excuse me. And we mixed everything together. And the salad is beautiful, and it's sitting in the fridge. The lentils are just gonna soak up that dressing. And this is the kind of a salad, guys, that you can eat days from now and it's still amazing. This is the kind of home cooking that you wanna be doing. It's nutritious, it's really cheap because lentils are the food of the people, okay? It's cheap, it's nutritious, and it is something that lasts exceptionally well in the fridge. Is the lentil real French or French Canadian? I think everybody has lentils, Count Jay. I'm not sure if the one or the other necessarily speaking. Okay. And I'm just gonna go ahead and get that out, get that pot of water boiling again, and we'll talk about this in just a second. Okay, guys, so let's talk about this ingredient that I have here. It's one of my favorites, and it's something that I almost never really get a chance to cook with because it's typically really expensive. However, it seems like we are in that time of the year now. My friends, it is spring. We're almost done with April. We're gonna be into May soon. And so we're going to be cooking with a little something called broccoli rabe. And broccoli rabe, if you grew up in the United States somewhere, maybe you grew up like Italian American inside the United States, broccoli rabe you would oftentimes see in sandwiches. And broccoli rabe, stewed down, cooked down, chopped up inside of a sandwich, it has, in the best possible way, I want to say like a bitterness to it. And I don't say bitter in an unpleasant way whatsoever. Guys, this is the kind of a vegetable that really benefits from being properly and slowly cooked down. So sometimes with greens, with fresh greens, we want to only cook it for 5 to 10 minutes at most. Broccoli rabe is really nice when we blanch it for like 1 minute or 2, and then we saute it for like 15 minutes. We give this a lot of love. We give this a lot of effort. We give this a lot of care, and we give this a lot of attention, and we will end up with some really delicious broccoli rabe, my friends. So we're doing a 2-stage cooking process. We're doing the initial boiling just to soften it up a little bit. Is this the same thing as rapini? I'm not entirely sure, Thorax. Maybe. I forgot what that is. Okay, and then once it's blanched, we'll be just chopping it up into smaller pieces, and then we'll be sauteing it with the sausage and with the kale. The kale, I'm not gonna go with this pre-blanching step, although I could do that with the kale, but we'll get back to that in a second. Your mac and cheese by Twitter post made me range. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Stassis. So guys, the only thing that we really need to do is I wanna just separate maybe some of the florets from the leaves. Well, actually, are all of these just the florets straight up? Because we just sometimes have leaves by themselves. The florets need a little bit of extra cook time than the leaves. So I'm just gonna go through this and just pick out some of the florets. Okay, that's the floret. Guys, you can see the florets right there. Just take that, lovely, beautiful. And then the leaves I'll be setting aside. And it's okay if there's still like some ones. Can I get a moderator just to delete the message? I know that there was a typo, but, you know, thanks. That would be great. Okay. And there you go. And there you go. Okay, and then the rest of these just look like the leaf portions. And the leaf portions will need very little cook time, relatively speaking. It's okay. It happens, Billy Zane. Okay. So, let's also figure out how much I even want to be cooking with food today, because this does look like a lot. So here's what I want to do, guys. Here's what I want to do. I think I'm going to blanch all of this now. I'm gonna blanch all of this now, and then if it looks like too much after it's blanched, I'm just gonna be keeping it for some cooking later on. The really nice thing about blanching is it really, really shrinks it down in size, and so that's going to give us a much better idea, much better measurement with how much we actually end up with. Okay, so for the blanching stage, unlike the parsley itself, it's actually not all that important for us to shock it in like ice cold water. So all that we'll be really doing with it after is just straining it off. Okay, it'll be really, really easy. So guys, let's go ahead and go back on over to the stove. We're gonna be starting out with all of my florets, because remember, the florets, they take a little bit longer to cook than the leaves themselves. We could separate it a little bit more if we would really like to, but that's okay. The florets, all of them right here, my friends. And then once it actually shrinks and boils, that would be a really, really good time to chop it up. Chopping it now would be a bit of a mistake because it's all gonna shrink down, guys. It's all gonna shrink down. All of it is just going to get easier. Also, T, welcome on in. Hope you're having a really good day today. Thank you, T. So guys, let's take this water. Let's go ahead and bump that up to a nice big old rolling boil. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and submerge all of my broccoli rabe inside of the boiling water, guys. And this process, to actually cook the broccoli rabe florets, maybe about 1.5 minutes. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get that started. Just gonna go ahead and set a timer for that. There we go, 1.5 minutes or so. Get that water back up to a really, really nice boil. Okay, and again, the idea is, guys, we just want to give this a head start on the cooking. Okay, this is the kind of a vegetable. Guys, I need everybody to tap in. I need a yes chef from everybody watching. Broccoli rabe is the kind of a thing that really benefits from long, extended cook times. So this is not the kind of a green where you just quickly saute it and it's bitter and it's chewy and it's stringy. You do it like that and it's really, really unpleasant to eat. Guys, the beauty of broccoli rabe is actually in how tender it gets and how soft it gets and how much flavor it actually ends up developing with extended cook time. So be patient with her. Be patient and she will reward you. You can't really overcook something like broccoli rabe. Okay? I promise you, the amount of time and effort that you dedicate into this thing will be well worth it by the end of it. Okay, so we'll just be draining it off. We'll be getting all that boiling water off of it, but it just takes time. Is rabe like kale in that way? So to in a chest, yes and no. I feel like kale is very, very nice when it's raw, or like when it's just like barely cooked. And so that's what we'll be doing with the kale today. We'll just be sauteing it with the sausage ever so slightly, but we're not going to be hammering it with heat, quite like the broccoli rabe. Does that make it? Does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah, they're both brassicas. They are indeed both brassicas. But for whatever reason, I don't know why, just broccoli rabe seems to take on cooking that long just super, super well. Okay, the florets are almost done, my friends. We'll just give it another 20 seconds or so. Again, we're just giving them that head start. We give them that head start, and it's going to be so much easier to saute later on in the process. By just sauteing it and just cooking it in oil, it would take forever to get them to cook evenly. So we shrink them down now. We give them a bit of a head start with the cooking now, guys. And then we just go ahead and we take them out, and I have a colander ready to go for them. And again, we don't have to shock these in cold water. It's okay for them to continue to steam and soften. The only thing I just want to do is I just want to get all the excess water off of them. So I'm going to take all of my lovely florets of the broccoli rabe, and into my colander it goes, and my very last ones. Beautiful. Okay? And let's go ahead and now do the same exact thing with all of my leaves, guys. So my broccoli rabe leaves, just going to restart my timer really quickly. Because the leaves, they don't need that much cook time comparatively. Beautiful. Nice and easy, everybody. Does anybody have any good questions for me in the meantime while we're doing this process? We're going to finish up the lentil salad. We're going to be doing some broccoli rabe today. Guys, I feel like with a lot of the food that we've made on stream, especially recently, it's been a lot of cheese. It's been like a lot of heavy things. We're in spring. And so I wanted to just show off a lot of fresher things. I want to show off some lentils. I want to show off some vegetables. Because, guys, you know, we gotta have something. We gotta have something a little bit lighter sometimes too, you know? It is so green. And this is the time, by the way. Guys, if there was ever a time to buy green, leafy green vegetables, now is the time. We are in spring. This is when they're going to be the cheapest that they will be for the entire year, okay? Or this or late season. But still, the reason why I'm using broccoli rabe today, guys, I went to the store, I wanted to buy some greens, and I got inspired. Buy kale, buy collard greens, buy Swiss chard. Go experiment and play with greens. Use sorrel, use some sauerkraut. Experiment with it, my friends. So all that broccoli rub just going out now. Okie dokie. Beautiful. And I guess I could also theoretically blanch the kale, but that might be a little bit more effort than it's actually worth. Okay, and let's just go ahead and shut off that water. Guys, let's go ahead and go take a look at all of my blanched broccoli rub. So let's go take a look. Is everybody still watching? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, please, and thank you. Just want to make sure that you're all paying attention, that you're all nice and attentive, that you guys are all locked in, tapped in. So guys, here's all my broccoli rub. And again, what's really, really nice is that we're basically letting it almost steam dry. We're going to be sauteing it in some olive oil, but by leaving it hot and leaving it steaming just like this, we're going to just end up evaporating a lot of the excess moisture. Some of it will fall to the bottom of the plate, of course. Okay. But, ooh, it's hot. And I could also get one to snack on for a little bit. That might be really, really nice. A little broccoli rub is a little treat. I deserve a little treat from time to time. Guys, I promise you this doesn't look like much now. It's just going to get super, super delicious later, okay? So I'm just getting all the water off of this bad boy. Just want to make sure that none of it is really pooling on the bottom. This colander I have, it kind of sucks. It doesn't do a really good job of getting like rid of that stuck water on the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and just organize this a little bit. And guys, look at how much volume we lost. We started with a massive, massive bushel of broccoli rub, and we ended up with so little. Okay, let's go and talk about the kale in the meantime. Guys, the kale, just like the broccoli rub, it's going to end up cooking down. It's going to end up reducing so much, and it's going to lose a lot of its volume. So the only thing that we really need to do, guys, we got to rip off the leaves from the stem of the kale itself. The kale stem takes so long to cook that it can get a little bit tough, it can get a little bit chewy. Okay, and so the best way to go ahead and separate these bad boys, guys, just hold it by the stem end. Okay, and then just pull it off. Just pull it all off. If it naturally breaks, I mean, that's like fine too. You could really go in there and take it off. Also, if you don't, it'll be fine at the end of it as well. So let's go ahead and let's process up some kale. Like these end pieces, those are super fine. So that's totally okay. And guys, I want the sausage to be full of greens today. I want it to be full of greens. I want it to be full of vegetables. I want something a little bit more vegetable forward than usual. Do I know of any food or plants that help with headaches? Jack, a glass of water and an Advil. I had an opinion on ramps. Oh, Serena, it's just that ramps, because they're often foraged, they get really heavily romanticized by people. And because of how much they get romanticized, it just gets so expensive because it's foraged, really, because of the fact that somebody has to like go out there and hand pick it. Otherwise, I just think ramps are fine. Okay, and how much of the kale should I actually end up doing for today? Because I definitely don't want all of this kale. Guys, kale, I mean, it's really delicious. I just don't want pounds and pounds of it. I'm really comfortable with how much kale reduces as it cooks. So I can already tell you right now that this is even a little bit too much for me. But let's just go ahead and process and chop up my kale, guys. Let's process it. Let's get it done. So, really nice thing to do, guys. Just take it and stack it up by the leaves. Even if kale reduces when it cooks, guys, how many times have you cooked with kale, sauteed kale, right? And you're like, oh, it cooks down and it shrinks up. But then you try to put it into your mouth and it's like a wet curtain. And you try to put in like a wet curtain inside of your mouth. Okay? You really do benefit from just slicing it up a little bit, guys. So just taking it, let's not overthink this. Let's just move this bunch to the side. Let's take it. And we're just going to slice it thinly. Again, I really want my kale to be in nice thin slices because I don't want it to hold, I don't want it to just take up all of the space, right? I don't want it to just take up an entire forkful. So just like this, all the way through. Don't have to overthink it. Don't have to overcomplicate it or anything. Okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead and transfer that to a plate behind me. Get that ready to go for us. And let's go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of the kale. So it cooks down, it reduces in volume, but what happens is it just becomes like a wet napkin sometimes. And so slicing it up before you cook it, I think, is really essential. Okay? And so let's go ahead and just continue slicing and processing up my kale. So we get some really nice strips of it for today. Okay? Nice little strips, nice little chunks. I think that should be good for us. Okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and get that once again transferred over to my little plate. Move that aside. Lovely. Okay, and let's just go ahead and continue with the rest of the prep that you and I together need to get done. Is everybody still watching? Is everybody still listening? You know what I want to hear? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, from everybody that is currently tuned in, from everybody that is locked in, from everybody that is watching us. I just splashed some water on myself, on my sock. That's fine. I'm only a little overstimulated. I'm only a little upset about it. Okay, and let's just go ahead and dump out my waste bowl. And let's go ahead and proceed with everything else that we're going to need for the sausage today. Guys, I wanted this dish today to be spicy. I wanted it to be full of chilies. So I have these 2 spicy red chilies, and we're just going to go ahead and process them. I'm going to put on a glove so that I don't accidentally touch my eyes later. I'm quite infamous for doing that from time to time. Okay, and now let's think about the size of the chilies that I actually want here. I don't want super thin slices of chili, and the reason why I don't want thin slices of chili, guys, is because I think it's really nice to be able to pick it out sometimes. Are these bird's eye chilies? Oh, I have no idea, Billy's saying. I just got these at my local store. Oh, I can already smell the heat. I can already feel it. Okay, and so I like to have like some thicker slices like this, just so that people can pick them out if they don't really want to get a bite of chili inside. Also, if you do slice them too thinly, because of how much they shrink, they just tend to sort of become nothing. So having like a medium thick slice of chili, as I've come to learn, is really nice and holds up better to cooking. Jack, I'm not going to touch my eye. So, all the chili nicely and beautifully sliced up and ready to go. Let's just go ahead and just take that off of my cutting board. Let's get that out of here, out of sight and out of mind. And just have that all ready to go. Guys, this is called mise en place. You get all of this prep done ahead of time so that when we actually get to the cooking portion, that we're not jumping between the table and the cutting board, okay? Jack, I know that's a bet I'm gonna win too. So, watch it. Okay, next thing that I'm gonna do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and squeeze out the rest of the lemon juice that we're going to need for today. So this was my other half of a lemon. This is all going to get added directly into the sausage. I was originally considering making this a pasta, but I think I just want this to be nice and sauteed. Like, just keeping it really simple. So, actually, let's just do mise en place, not mise en place. Okay, well, maybe. I just know that French people, they drop random consonants at the end of words all the time. Guys, once again, flesh side down into the citrus press. Go ahead and squish it, get some of the water out, and then we'll continue squishing it all the way down. Yup. All of that delicious lemon juice. This is a juicy lemon. We're only really going to need half of this, right? We'll just adjust it. We'll taste it and we'll adjust it as needed. Okay, that is my lemon now all nice and juiced. Guys, take a look at this beautiful little plate of seasonings that we have for the sausage today. We have my lemon juice for the acidity, we have some parsley for the freshness, and then we have my chilies in here for the heat. No longer need my citrus press today, so I can just go ahead and set that behind me. And the next thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to need to go ahead and get some garlic processed. Also, hi, future gay parent. Hi, Natalie. It's lovely to have you. I had to like double check in my mind. Was that your username for a second? Okay, my friends, as always, as you may know, I cannot stand chopping garlic. I think chopping garlic is a waste of time. It's sticky, it sticks to your cutting board. It is an absolutely unpleasant endeavor. So all that we're going to do today, my friends, all that we're going to do is we're going to be putting it through one of my favorite kitchen tools, the garlic press. Because I want plenty of garlic. I want to get it all processed. It's going to make my life so much easier. Chopping garlic is such a headache, guys. It is such a headache. It is such a pain in the ass. Okay, so I'm just wiping off my knife again because, again, this is a carbon steel knife and thus it needs to be babied. That's right, Shazio. That was clever. Nice job. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? We got the lentil salad all done. We're getting all of our prep done for this really delicious sauteed sausage that we're going to be doing. And guys, as always, we start off with the garlic clove. And the way that we get it out of the skin is we give it a little smash. I use my bench scraper instead of my knife because a bench scraper is a cheap piece of metal that I can't cut myself on. A knife, you can easily slip. So this is what people do. This is what chefs do. They take it and they smash it with the knife. Guys, just use your bench scraper. It's safer and you get to be a little bit more aggressive with it because it's just a cheap piece of sheet metal. Which potatoes for the Russian potato dish from a few months ago? Do you mean the potatoes and mushrooms, Tarina? And the potatoes and mushrooms, Yukon Golds are amazing. What's my ethnic background? I'm Russian Jewish, Oracle. Grew up in New York my whole life. I'm Russian Jewish. Okay, and let's go ahead and get that all smashed. And the reason why we smashed it, even if we're putting it through a garlic press, guys, look how easily the skin comes off. Look at that. Nice and easy, all the way through. Beautiful. Pluck it off. And the last one, last but not least, pluck it off. That is why we give it a little smash. No peeling with a paring knife, nothing too crazy, guys. We're just keeping it really, really, really simple. Okay. And just getting all of that cut up. Okie dokie. And now, my friends, let's go ahead and once again, my cute little condiment bowl. Oh, slice root off after you smash tuna. It's a lot easier that way. And let's go ahead and get each of my garlic cloves inside, and let's press out every single last one of them into a lovely little garlic paste. And that will be it, I think, for the seasonings for my actual sauteed sausage, guys. We got to saute the sausage. We're going to get all that beautiful sausage fat out. It's going to be lovely. And this process is going to take some time, my friends. We'll talk about our order of operations in a second. Oh, I accidentally got my garlic root in there. Let's get that out. Lovely. And let's just finish pressing that all the way through one last time. And with my paring knife, just going back and scraping all that off. Lovely. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly wash this off in the meantime. Wash it off, put it away, and throw it into my dishwasher. Because again, guys, we're cooking at home, and thus, if we cook at home, what do? We clean as we go. It is an essential rule of home cooking. Do not leave everything just until the very end of it, my friends. Home cooking is all about making food in such a gentle and a simple way that you can just go and clean as you go. Croutons, bruschetta. Yeah, Jack, there you go. Breadcrumbs is probably ideal. Right? That's the best thing to do with them. So guys, take a look. We have all of my lovely cloves of garlic. We have some chilies for the heat, some parsley for the freshness, some lemon juice. So we're getting all of this prep done and away ahead of time. The next step that we have to do, guys, now that my broccoli rabe has properly drained off, let's go ahead and assess how much of it we actually have and how much of it do we even want to use for today. So all my broccoli rabe was blanched. It's really, really delicious, guys. Let's go ahead and have a little leaf as a treat. It's so flavorful. I love broccoli rabe. It has such a pleasant, you know, when I say pleasant bitterness, I really do mean it. Okay, so for today, honestly, because of the fact that I'm also going to be using kale, I think I'm only going to use this much broccoli rabe for today, my friends. Maybe, no, I think this is actually going to be the perfect amount. Maybe one more. And the really nice thing is now that we've blanched it, we can go ahead and take this, put this into the fridge, put this into a little container, and just use it whenever we want. Well, sometime in the next few days, ideally. Right, but now that it's blanched and ready to go, guys, you can saute it, you can make a frittata out of it. It has so many different options, it has so much opportunity for you, okay? And having that already just pre-blanched and ready to go, just so that you don't have any more work to do later on. That is just ready to saute with whenever you could possibly want it. So, this existing broccoli rabe, we're going to need to get rid of some of the moisture on it because it's soaking wet, my friends. And in order to properly saute it, it cannot, of course, be soaking wet. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab a little paper, excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little paper towel, and I'm just going to go ahead and just strain off some of the liquid from it. Does anybody have any questions for me in the meantime? Is everybody still watching? I want to hear a nice yes, chef, please, and thank you. Because guys, this is going to go into oil. My goal is not for this to burn. My goal is not, or excuse me, not for this to boil. My goal is for this to properly saute to get really, really beautiful and really, really golden brown. Okay, so we got off some of the excess moisture from it. It's going to pop a little bit when it goes in, but that'll eventually die out. And so the goal now, guys, look how big these pieces are. Think about the size of the thing that you want to eat when you're cutting something. So let me explain to you all something. Let me rant about something. Let me talk to you about something that sincerely bothers me. And a lot of it that does actually come from both restaurant culture and laziness. How many times have you gotten, I want to make sure that everybody's listening. I want to hear a nice yes, chef, please, and thank you. How many times have you gotten sauteed vegetables or even like a sauteed broccoli rabe, and you get pieces that are quite literally this big? And you want to go ahead and bite into it. It's like bok choy, it's like broccoli rabe, it's one of those things. And you want to bite into it. And so here's what happens, guys. You go and you take a fork to it. You're like, delicious sauteed vegetables. You take a fork, you stab it in. It's not going in completely because, you know, it's a massive piece, massive hunk. You have to roll it up somehow, get it like this. And then you have to fit this entire thing in your mouth. Guys, I know it looks beautiful when it's entirely intact. But the best thing that you can do is to pursue functionalism. You want to make it easy for your people to eat, whoever you're serving this for yourself or for somebody else. The most beautiful thing is when something is functional. And so, guys, instead of having these stupid long scraps, okay, that'll just take up your entire fork, let's just chop it up. Let's just chop it up. Let's just chop it up, guys. Just like this, right? And this way, so much easier, so much more functional, especially because this is going to be with the kale and it's going to be with the sausage, guys. Be functional first and foremost. Do not compromise the eating experience just to make something look a little bit more beautiful. I cannot stand that in food. It is one of my least favorite things alive. So I'm just going to go ahead and have a separate plate for that, just to go ahead and put that on. Beautiful. Okay, and we're almost done with all of the prep for today, my friends. The last thing that we're going to have to do is to be prepping the sausage to prep the rest of the chorizo for today. Function is beauty. That's right, Serena. So much cooking, so much restaurant cooking is people actively sacrificing things to make them look more pretty. Function is the most beautiful thing that you could possibly have at the end of the day. Function is where it's at, my friends. That is the ruthless cooking philosophy that I will always, always, always pursue. Okay, so we're going to need to go on over to the stove now. I'm going to go ahead and make some space, guys. This is my chorizo, and we'll be cutting it up for some sauteing action. Chef, do we just like wedge salads? Tarina, I hate wedge salads. I love chopped salads. I love it when it's all easy to eat. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and make a little bit of space behind me because we're about to start preheating our lovely pan, and I'll talk about that in just a second, my friends. We'll talk about what we're doing. We'll talk about why we're doing it. We'll get into all of the hows of how to properly saute this thing. Okay, all of that is in the dishwasher now. I don't think I'm gonna need this bowl again today. I'm not gonna need this strainer either. So I'm just gonna go ahead again, guys. We're cleaning as we're going. Okay, beautiful. And this pot, I'm just gonna throw that into the sink. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and begin with the sauteing of the sausage. So I have here a lovely, large stainless steel pan, my friends. I have a nice big stainless steel pan, and this is where all the sauteing action will be. Oh, excuse me. This is where all, let's do it like this, please. This is where all the sauteing action is going to be happening. Everybody, I need you all to listen. I'm going to teach you some fundamentals. I'm going to teach you a couple of important, essential things that you cannot go without. So I need to hear yes, chef. I need to make sure that everybody's listening. Even if you've never spoken in here before, I need to hear yes, chef. Please and thank you. From everybody, from absolutely everybody. The stainless steel pan is one of the most misused and misunderstood pieces of kitchen equipment. This is a clad stainless steel pan, meaning it has an aluminum core, but everything that I'm saying here is also going to apply to any other type of pan that you may have. So we're heating this thing up, and I'm going to add in some oil, even if we're getting sausage fat, because I just needed to lubricate the bottom of the pan. The number one mistake that people make with a stainless steel pan, even a thin one, they crank it up on a high heat, and they think it's done heating up in just a matter of minutes. That is how you develop hot spots and cool spots, and that is how things stick to your pan. In order to have a pan that is non-stick, a stainless steel pan that is non-stick, guys, you need to heat it up slowly, and it needs to have plenty of oil inside of it. So let's talk about this really quickly. Let's talk about how non-stick pans became advertised and sold as, hey, do you want your food to stop sticking? Instead of us teaching you how to use a stainless steel pan, instead of building up the fundamentals and making you understand how this thing functions, we're going to sell you a bunch of crappy non-stick pans that you do not need. Stainless steel pans give you beautiful color. They have really, really good heat distribution if you know how to properly heat it up, guys. The goal is to heat it up slowly. Slowly. I'm going to say this over and over again. Chat, How do we want to heat up the pan? Slowly. I want to hear everybody respond with slowly, please and thank you. Medium, low heat. If you crank this up onto a high heat, even an all-clad pan, and you think it's hot when you pour in some water and it sizzles and it does the Leidenfrost effect, and the water dances around the pan and you think it's ready to go, it is not ready to go because you have hot spots and you have cool spots. And on the cool spots, the meat will start sticking. And once it starts sticking, you're done, you're over, you're finished. It's going to stick. And when things stick, what do? They burn. And when they burn, they turn bitter and everything sticks and it's all over from that point onwards. So you need a good amount of oil, right? We're adding in some olive oil because the olive oil is as much of a part of a dish. It's the ingredient too, right? It's not just lubrication. It's not just functional. It's also one of our lovely ingredients. And so we put it in the olive oil. That's also going to help it not stick so much. I'm actually just going to zoom out a little bit, I think. Ah, that's too zoomed in. Come back, come back, come back. Okay. Well, I lost it. There you go. That's better. That's a little bit more of what I'm looking for. Okie dokie. We're going to properly and beautifully saute the sausage, guys. Okay, so let's talk about the sausage really quickly. This, my friends, is a really lovely local chorizo. Once again, I do not want you to recreate this if all that you have available to you is really, really crappy quality chorizo. So guys, let me tell you about something. And this is especially evident with sausage meat inside of the United States. Don't ignore the phrasing. Ignore all of that, please. But let's talk about this really quickly. So, most supermarkets, the place where the majority of Americans go ahead and shop. I'm not talking about big cities. I'm talking about the bulk of the United States. They go to Stop and Shop, they go to Walmart, they go to Publix, they go to these big supermarkets. Big supermarkets have really awful quality sausage. So guys, here is my recommendation. Here is my advice to you. Everybody, I want you all to tap in. I want you all to listen to this advice because I have some really good advice. If you are in the United States, the best thing that you can do to get good quality sausage, and not like the vacuum-packed trash quality like chorizo that's just soaking wet, go to Latin supermarkets. Go find a Mexican supermarket near you. Go find ethnic supermarkets for whatever immigrant community is in your area. That is where you will find real ingredients that are really, really good to cook with, and not just really, really crappy quality supermarket chorizo. You don't just need to use chorizo for this. You can use andouille, you can use a hot Italian sausage, go to a butcher shop, do whatever is the best intersection between practical, affordable, and of course the tastiest thing that you can afford, my friends. American sausage is so bad. It sucks so much. It is a tragedy. Going to a big supermarket and getting it, it's tragic. It is not good, guys. If you have an Eastern European market near you, go buy some kielbasa or something. If you have a Mexican store near you, buy some longaniza or buy some chorizo just like this, guys. There isn't really a Russian equivalent to it because Russians don't really like spicy food like that. Okay? So guys, please listen to me. Please, please, please listen to me when I say this. Okay, the next thing. How do we actually want to cut the sausage? I want it to be the same size roughly as my kale, as my broccoli rub. So let's go ahead, and I'm thinking some coins on a slight bias, guys. Some nice thick coins. And the sausage, the beauty of this chorizo, my friends, I want you all to take a look inside of it. Look at how much lovely fat we have. And all of that fat, it's going to melt out and it's going to coat. It's going to absolutely coat all of my vegetables. And that is the beauty of this kind of cooking. And guys, we're heating that oil up on a low-medium heat. We don't need it smoking hot. Okay, guys, next thing. We need the sausage fat before it actually browns too much. The key to a perfectly cooked sausage is medium heat. Chat, can I please get a yes, chef? I need to make sure that all of you understand this. The key to a perfectly cooked sausage is, at the end of the day, it always comes back to medium heat. When we have medium heat, we get to slowly render out the fat before the meat turns too brown. If we scorch meat, if we turn it too brown, we're going to just end up with sausage that's like really, really greasy. It's holding onto all of its fat on the inside. Not really what we're looking for. We want the sausage fat, my friends. We want the sausage fat. We want it inside. It's going to make it amazing. And so for today, I think I'm just going to use a couple more slices. I think this is plenty of chorizo though. So guys, the key to a good sausage, guys, is slow cooking, not hot and fast. This isn't the thin steak. This isn't the skirt steak. Low and slow. So my olive oil is all heated up. You can see how it's shimmering, and we've been heating it up slowly, my friends. Okay, so let's start going over to the stove. Let's distribute the oil and let's begin the sauteing process. Again, what kind of heat, my friends? Low, medium. It's slightly smoking because this is extra virgin olive oil, thus something lower smoke point. And let's just add in my little coins of sausage. They've been air dried, they're beautiful, they're ready to go. Let's just add all of it in, and the fat is there to help lubricate it so it doesn't stick immediately to the pan or anything. All the sausage just going in, all of it in. Guys, if your pan is too small, do this in 2 batches. You do not want to overcrowd that pan. Can I please get a yes, chef? If you overcrowd it, the sausage is not going to seal. It's just going to end up sticking and steaming. We want to develop some beautiful color. We want to render out all that beautiful chorizo fat, my friends. Look at the chorizo. Look at that chorizo. Isn't that gorgeous? Low heat, my friends. Low, medium heat. Time will be your best friend. If it's sticking, let it unstick. If your meat sticks when you put it down, just give it a little bit of extra time. Swish around the oil, and I promise you, it will naturally unstick itself, my friends. Be patient, and you will be rewarded. Guys, look at that chorizo. Doesn't that chorizo look amazing? You can see the fat becoming beautifully orange because it's just leaking out all the chorizo fat. Okay, and in the meantime, I'm also just going to be washing off my knife. I'll just set it to a still of the sausage for now. Guys, look at that sausage. Look at that sausage. This is some serious, serious business, my friends. I'm just washing off my knife because, again, we were cutting some meat with it. So let's just go ahead and get rid of all of that. Wash it up, disinfect it, and then dry it off. And guys, this is easy home cooking that we're doing here. We're using cheap ingredients. We're using sausage and cheap greens. This is the time to be buying things like broccoli, rabe, and kale, my friends. They're really, really substantial. These are the kinds of leafy greens that I want to be eating. So guys, are you ready for another food rant? I want to hear yes, chef. Please and thank you, because I have some opinions. I have some opinions, and I have a little something to say, as always. As you guys may know, I always have a little something to say. Also, this isn't a very traditional cooking method that I'm using here for the sausage. A very Italian thing to do would be to take it out of the casing. But guys, take a look at what's happening. Take a look. It's slowly bubbling away in its own beautiful glossy fat. That is exactly what I'm looking for. And because all of that fat, it's just going to go back into the broccoli rabe. It's going to go back into the kale. Oh, do you guys know that we're on some serious business today? We're on some serious, serious business. Okay, so I'm going to go on a bit of a food rant about something. I love leafy greens. I love kale. I love broccoli rabe, I love collard greens. I love Swiss chard. I love spinach. I love those kinds of leafy greens because they're substantial, they're full of flavor, they're cheap, and they just make up so many of my favorite dishes, especially a lot of African dishes, a lot of southern dishes. I love leafy greens. However, when I say I love leafy greens, I do not mean lettuce. I hate lettuce. I hate lettuce. I hate how much lettuce costs. I hate its complete lack of any nutritional value. I hate the fact that it's mostly a textural component. It feels like a complete and utter waste of money. I cannot stand lettuce. I don't think it should exist. Okay? I just do not think it should exist. It has a negative shelf life. The only kinds of lettuce applications I like is, there's some like traditional like Chinese dishes that like cook with lettuce. Those are really, really tasty. But lettuce salads, guys, they have barely any kind of nutritional content whatsoever. They just wilt. They wilt and they turn soft and unpleasant. And at best, they're just a mediocre texture component. Guys, embrace the hearty leafy greens. Embrace kale. Embrace cabbage. Embrace broccoli rabe. We are done with lettuce. Is that clear? Can I please get a yes, chef? Lettuce, it's just such a waste, it feels like. Okay, my friends, my sausage is getting beautifully browned. And again, the key is a low, medium heat, guys. You don't want the high heat. You don't want to burn the fond. You don't want to burn the sausage. You burn the sausage, and then all of that's just going to be stuck to the bottom of the pan, my friends. Medium, low heat is your friend in this. This is perfect. And we're not going to overcook the sausage either. We want to still keep it really nice and juicy. Nice and juicy. It's going to be lovely. I probably overdid it with the olive oil, but that is totally okay by me. Guys, in life, there is no such thing as too much olive oil, okay? Look at that sausage. Look at that beautiful color that we got. Look at all of the fat leaking out of it. And, guys, despite the fact that we're on a stainless steel pan, let me show you some magic. Look at the bottom. There is no stuck meat bits. There is almost no fond. Nothing is scorching and nothing is sticking. Do you know why, my friends? Do you know why? It's because we have enough fat and we heated this up slowly. Medium heat, and you can achieve this with even the cheapest of stainless steel pans, guys. We're done. Relationship with non-stick pans is over. Non-stick pans tricked consumers into thinking that they can't use stainless steel pans. Guys, let's return to carbon steel. Let's return to stainless steel. Look, it's not sticking. Nothing is burning. Everything is perfect inside of it. Meat sticks and then releases. Absolutely, Tarina. This is exactly what I want to see. And so in the meantime, I'm just going to throw my cutting board into the dishwasher. Get that in there, get that out of here, get that done and ready to go. Because remember, my friends, when we cook at home, we got to clean as we go. And there is a time and a place for non-stick, specifically when you want to do low temperature, low fat cooking and you don't want something to stick. Okay? It really helped. Count J-Vok, I'm glad that it helped. People, guys, people think that in restaurants that everybody uses high heat all the time. At the end of the day, heating things up slowly is the key to so much cooking. It is the key. Heat control, my friends. So ask me questions, and I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you build up intuition. I'm here to help you build up understanding. I want to make all of you better cooks. I don't want to teach you recipes. I'm here to teach you theory and technique and fundamentals. I want you to be able to understand the food, why it does the things it does. I want you to be able to understand the cookware. I'm here to help you. So any and all questions are always, always encouraged and incredibly welcome. Okay? And I'll also be putting away my waste bowl because we have no more waste to actually go through for today. Okay, guys, my sausage is finished. I'm not going to push it any further. And the reason for that is because I don't want it to become dry. As much fat as there is that we can still render out of it, we don't want to overcook the sausage at this stage, okay? So the sausage, for me at least, is perfect and good to go. Look at that, beauty. Gorgeous stuff. Using 2 wooden spoons like my Russian grandma, because that's what she does. To flip potatoes, anything. And guys, that might be actually an aggressive amount of fat, but that is okay. I actually really, really like high-fat, calorie-dense foods. And I'm going to talk about this in a second. Are you guys ready for another potential food rant? You guys ready for me to yell at you about something? Because I have a lot of thoughts on a certain subject matter. So once we add in the broccoli rub, we'll be going on that food rant, okay? So we got this, guys, and we got a mixture of fats. We have these 2 fats combining. I would say making love, but that's like a little too graphic of a description, I feel like. But these 2 fats, the olive oil and the sausage fat, they're coming together in harmony, in unison. They've stained it with all of the spices. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That is gorgeous, guys. That is what it should look like. Okay, and once we add the broccoli rabe, it is going to pop a little bit because remember, the broccoli rabe is wet. But once the water cooks out, it will be perfect, I promise. That is a lot of fat, wow. And it's beginning to pop a little bit because I ended up squeezing some of like the sausage resting juices out. But that's totally okay. Okay, guys. Let's just move that around. That's all of my fat ready to go. Okay? And now, we're going to add in all of my blanched broccoli rabe. Guys, the broccoli rabe benefits from a lot of cook time. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, as long as you want to push it. That is how much time that you should put in, okay? The kale we'll be adding in later on so that it doesn't overcook because I don't want that to be too wilted. But the broccoli rabe, guys, this bad boy, we cook it down. So my fat is all ready to go. We add in the broccoli rabe. It's going to pop a little bit. That's okay. Let's get it in all of that fat. And let's turn up the heat. Because we're not cooking sausage, we don't really have to worry about burning the broccoli rabe. I'm going to tell you why. The broccoli rabe, and these are kinds of leafy greens, they have so little sugar that they don't really burn, they don't really char. In fact, they're very pleasant when they're charred. You can't really char an onion the same way because it turns super, super bitter and unpleasant. So let's go in and let's season it with salt. We want to season the layers of all of this, okay, guys? Let's season it with salt. Get all of that salt inside. Lovely. And now let's go ahead and toss it together, my friends. Let's give it a real, true, proper saute. Push it and flip it, push it and flip it, flip it, flip it. Gorgeous. And now, my friends, this is all just going to cook down. Right now, the pan is a little wet because we have all that liquid, but it's going to evaporate. Guys, look at that. Doesn't that look gorgeous? Doesn't that look amazing at the moment? I think that looks pretty damn good. Guys, with the sausage and the lemon juice and the broccoli rabe and the kale, we're going to be eating today. My friends, we're going to be feasting today. We're full of vegetables today. This might be like one of the healthier streams that I've done because we always do things with cream and cheese and milk, a lot of like really, really heavy things. And so today, I just want a lot more vegetable focused. Okay, guys, you ready for this food rant? I want to hear yes, chef from everybody watching because I'm about to go off. I'm about to go off on something that bothers me sincerely. Okay? I'm getting ready for this one because this one might be a long one. This might be a bit of a tangent. But also, let me just continue just to saute this. It's still cooking in its own liquid. So all that liquid, guys, it's going to evaporate, I promise. Okay. Is everybody ready for this? Great. In fact, let's just do this other shot just because I think it'll give me a little bit more attention. The kind that I would want. Okay. My friends, in the last 50 years of diet culture, nutrition culture, that sort of sensibility, people have demonized incredibly caloric food. People have demonized it. And where does this come from? 70s, 80s or so, obesity rates in the United States were spiking, right? Quite a bit. The World Health Organization published a study that said, hey, sugar is causing obesity. This is like a problem. Okay, I promise I'm going to come back to this. I forgot which specific organization it was, but basically American lobbyists, right, some sort of like sugarcane organization like Coca-Cola, they threatened to revoke their funding from the World Health Organization, claiming that it was bad science, and so companies like Coca-Cola sponsored research to say, actually, sugar doesn't cause obesity, but fat does. And that little research, this super faulty research that has since been debunked, started this move of 2% milk, skim milk, fat is bad, everything has to be low calorie, sugar is okay, carbohydrates are fine, but fat is bad. That started off this massive, massive global trend of people seeing fat as a bad thing purely because it is calorie dense, and this faulty science that said that it's actually the thing that is driving obesity. And as a result, what has happened since is people want to eat high volumes of food that aren't calorie dense, especially bodybuilders, people on a diet, they always want to eat super, super high volumes of everything. This big boat of mac and cheese has 500 calories inside of it. This stew, an entire bucketful, 100 calories. Isn't this great? Guys, to me, it's the most insane thing ever. This obsession with volume food is something that is socially taught into us. It is a product of capitalism itself. It is why all-you-can-eat buffets exist. And that kind of restaurant model even exists to begin with. Okay? Just gotta toss this up really quickly. Guys, this obsession with high-volume eating, this is not the fault of the individual. I don't want to blame individuals and say, oh, you just have to stop eating. What I'm trying to say is it can be deconditioned. High-volume eating results in a lot of bloating, especially. And fat just results in a lot of fullness. So guys, it's okay for this dish to have so much fat. You know why it's okay? Because we can just eat a little bit less of it. And that is okay. And that obsession with like, oh, I want to eat more in bigger portions, it is something that is socially taught into us from the time that we are born. But because it was taught into us, it can also be unlearned and it can also be deconditioned, my friends. So, it is okay for food to be calorie dense. It is okay for food to have a lot of fat inside of it. You just have to sometimes eat a little bit less. It is completely and totally okay, I promise you. And it's going to be a little uncomfortable at first, but eating a lot of fat is also really, really nice in terms of satiation and actually making you feel a little bit fuller for longer periods of time. Ooh. So, basically, what am I just trying to say here? Live a little bit. You can eat as much fat as you would like. And if you feel like you're still eating too much, just eat a little bit less. Food isn't about eating a massive, massive portion and feeling so full all the time. You know, that's not what food should be. So, there you go. I hope that answers your question. Not question. I hope that was a good rant for all of you about why I don't particularly like volume eating, exactly as Natalie said, right? Volume eating is directly tied to capital and consumption. It's about feeling like you're getting all of this value out of something. Guys, food is delicious with a lot of fat in it. You know, it's okay. It's genuinely fine. So, the broccoli rabe, guys, it's been going, it's cooking, it's sauteing. As much time as you're willing to give it is ideal, my friends. So I'm just scraping off the bottom because there is some stuff that seems to be stuck to the bottom. Might be little tiny leaves. Might be some of like the sausage fond. Whatever the case may be. Medium heat, guys. We're continuing to just cook down all of my beautiful broccoli rabe. This dish is going to be packed with vegetables. It's going to have kale and broccoli rabe. It's going to have the sausage and finished off with the parsley, my friends. Nice medium heat on this, okay? Until the broccoli rabe is cooked to your liking. You can cook this for 20 minutes. You can cook this for 30 minutes. You can truthfully cook this as long as your heart desires. Broccoli rabe is not the kind of a thing that you can overcook. So I'm going to give it a few more minutes by itself, and then I'll be adding in some kale leaves. Chat, did your mom or dad's buy margarine? Oh yeah, margarine was like one of those things too, where it was like, oh, animal fats are bad. And then it turns out that these, fats, these modified fats, right? Things like Crisco and margarine, right? Things that were normally not meant to be in a solid form, those did end up turn out to be the worst for you. So pretty funny how that ended up working. These things were branded as like, oh, this isn't animal fat, it's made from vegetables, it's better. And it actually turned out to be the one that is actually not particularly good for you. That is the one that is universally agreed upon, and anything is okay in moderation, of course, but still. Oh, guys, this broccoli rabe, it's getting beautifully cooked down. I'm going to go ahead and have a little bit just to taste it. But I like margarine. I like the way margarine tastes. Guys, that is delicious. Truthfully, yummy. I think now is actually a good time for me to add in all of my lovely kale. And let's get that cooked in too, guys. Let's get that cooked in. Let's get that seasoned up. Let's cook the kale, my friends. If you were playing TF2, you would say Saxton Kale. Sorry, that wasn't very clever. Another big hit of salt, guys. And let's just go ahead and let's saute this kale too. We're not going to toss it around or anything. We're not going to be super aggressive with it. Let's just get it all in there. And the kale is also going to wilt down. The kale is going to soften up. Oh, guys, that broccoli rabe was delicious just now. Beautiful. All of these greens, all of these vegetables, all these cheap leafy greens too, guys. This is the time to be buying it, my friends. It is the springtime. Is there a vegan animal fat replacement that's good for you? I don't know. Coconut oil is great, right? Coconut fat, right? Guys, I need to be doing more. I want to challenge myself to do more vegetable-focused stuff in the future, because I'm actually, I am not happy with the amount of meat that I'm actually consuming, and I would just like something, I would just like something a little bit lighter. And so, if you guys have any ideas, join my Discord. Also, for those of you that haven't already done so, guys, I want to keep this cooking show free. We've turned off all advertisements. We're not going to be taking any sponsorships. Guys, the way to support the show and to help keep it free for everybody is to go ahead and support me on my Patreon. !mark Patreon, or go ahead and just scroll down into the About section. By supporting me through the Patreon, you're helping me keep this free for everybody else. I never want to paywall any kind of information. By design, the Patreon doesn't give you any additional information, minus an additional private Discord. And that's just so that you can chat with me a little bit easier, but I'm also active in the public community Discord. Guys, the Patreon exists because I strongly believe in information being free. I don't believe that all information should have advertisements to help support it, and I don't believe in information being behind a paywall. And so, I want to have this be free for everybody to watch. And for those of you that do have that extra money, for those of you that have the ability to help support the show, the Patreon is the best way to do it. Can I please get a yes chef from everybody watching and listening, please and thank you. Guys, my kale, take a look at it. It's all cooking down. It's all getting nice and soft. All of it has soaked up the fat. You can see it's glistening in all of that fat now. It's looking really, really good. And now, my friends, my goal is to get the kale a little bit more tender than it currently is. At the moment, it's still a little too crunchy. So nice, once again, low, medium heat. That's all we're doing today. Low, medium heat, guys. That is the key to success with this. Just cooking it down, sauteing it, letting it happen over time. Okay, and let's do that around again. And then guys, the last step will be the garlic and the chilies, and then we'll add back in the sausage, finish it with the lemon juice and the parsley, and it will be amazing. I do wish I had some white wine. Actually, I think I have a little bit of white wine left. Let me see how much I have. I have like a little tiny splash. Yeah, I have, no, that's like a tablespoon. That is nothing. That is a negligible amount of white wine. Also, that's not enough yes chefs. I want it from everybody watching. So let's try that one more time. Can I please get a yes chef from everybody that is here? Please and thank you. Okay, guys, my kale is just about ready to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up a little leaf of kale and see how's the texture, how's the taste, how's the seasoning on this bad boy. Perfect. Ooh, have I over-salted this? Maybe a little bit, but that's okay. Definitely seasoned, that's for sure. Okay, my friends, let's go ahead and add in all of my chilies now. Let's get those cooked in a little bit. Okay, we're adding in my chilies, gorgeous. And we're also adding in all of my garlic. We'll add back in the sausage as it's rested. Oh, also, thank you so much for the sub, Count J-Bot. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's toss it all around with the chilies and the garlic now, my friends. Get it in there, break it up, break it up, break it up, break up all those little clicks, and keep it moving because we don't want to squelch the garlic. We don't want to burn the garlic. We just want it to cook out. We want it to infuse into the oil. Okay, almost done, my friends. Just keep it moving, keep it going. Keep this cooking. Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Lovely. Keep it tossing, keep it moving. The chilies, just want them heated through. I don't really want them broken down too much. I don't want them cooked up too much. Okay, my friends, let's go in with all of my lovely sausage. All of it inside, directly in, happening now. And let's just toss everything together beautifully. All right, let's heat the sausage back up through. The sausage has already been fully cooked to our tastes. Still nice and juicy on the inside. Okay, and the last step, guys, we're going to be essentially deglazing this pan with the lemon juice. So take it in there and just scrape up the bottom. Scrape it up, scrape it up, scrape it up. And that is going to be building the sauce that then coats everything together. Okay, let's shut off the heat. Let's shut it off. Let's get that lemon juice coated on everything. Scrape up the bottom, guys. Clean up the pan. Get it all integrated. Get the lemon juice all mixed up. And now let's go ahead and once and for all finish it with the parsley. So all the parsley going on now, and that is going to be it. So just mix it up, guys. Mix it up, mix it up, mix it up. Get all that parsley in there. Get everything infused beautifully. Spicy, full of flavor, full of garlic, full of herbs and vegetables. Look at that. This would be amazing inside of a pasta as well, but I kind of just wanted this as it is today. Everybody, we have done it. We are completely done. And yes, Trusty Sam, I will be uploading the VOD. I upload all of my VODs. I'm a little bit behind, so I do apologize for my backlog. Guys, that is it. We have done it. So let's go ahead and plate up the salad. Let's go ahead and plate this up as well, my lovely sausage. So my salad has just been chilling out in the fridge this whole time. It soaked up all of my delicious raspberry dressing. So I'm just gonna mix it around really, really quickly. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put it into a little bowl. The salad, probably not the most appealing thing you've ever seen, but it is full of flavor. It is super, super delicious. This almost was a short stream, you're absolutely right. But guys, was this stream too short? Should I have done like one more component for today? That's my lovely little lentil salad. And now, last but not least, let's go ahead and get some of my lovely sausage. So I'm gonna go ahead and just scoop it up. All of it, nice. Gorgeous. And let's grab a little fork. And my friends, let's go ahead and do a recap session. Also, by the way, this would be a great time for any and all final cooking questions that you may or may not have for me. Because we'll chill a little bit longer. We'll eat a little bit today with this. But guys, we have done it. We have done everything that was on our agenda today. I wanted to experiment a little bit more with lentils. I wanted to get more into the habit of cooking lentils. And so this is what this was for me today. This specific lentil dish, this specific green lentil dish is something I have a very, very strong food memory with, my friends. When I was back in France, I was there for a Smash tournament. I was commentating it. I was taken to this restaurant, Brasserie Georges, and there was this really, really delicious, incredible lentil salad. It was made with these green lentils from France, from the region Le Puy. Okay, it was this raspberry vinaigrette and these red onions. And so that's what I tried to emulate today, my friends. Beautiful French green lentils, perfectly cooked and not falling apart. We soaked them and then simmered them in some aromatics. The dressing, Dijon mustard, raspberries, olive oil, red wine vinegar, a little bit of garlic, some blanched and blended parsley. Really, really delicious. Okay, we chopped up some red onions, we chopped up some parsley, and we mixed it all together. This is the kind of lentil salad that could be ice cream scooped in, maybe if it's like really cold. And so we have this lovely vinaigrette, homemade vinaigrette, completely from scratch. Guys, this is the kind of food that is ideal at home. Let me say it again and again and again. This is home cooking. This is a lentil salad that you eat it when it's warm, that you can eat it when it's cold. You can take it with you to work. This is the kind of a lentil salad that sits in your fridge. This is cheap. People should be cooking more with lentils. I need to be cooking more with lentils. It's cheap, it's easy, and above all else, it's also delicious and really, really good for you too. Everybody should be cooking with lentils. This is so simple, it's so minimalistic. And guys, the other thing that we made this really, really lovely sauteed sausage. We had some chorizo. We cooked it in olive oil. We got all of that delicious chorizo fat. We have some blanched broccoli rabe that we sauteed it properly. We added in some kale, some lemon juice, some chili, some garlic, and finished it off with some fresh parsley. So guys, cheers. Let's start off with some of my lovely lentil salad. So good. So good. Wow. That is amazing. That is so fresh. The raspberry, it's just so aggressive. It really, really comes through. It's so aromatic. It's so simple. It's so cheap to throw together, minus the raspberries, although the raspberries aren't particularly essential in something like this. You can just do any kind of vinaigrette. Guys, make lentil salads. This, not again. I need to stop eating my hair. That's so good. It wasn't, the dressing is still a little bit off. I can probably tweak it and play around with it a little bit, but that was amazing. Okay, guys, and now let's try all of this. My sauteed greens and sausage and broccoli rabe. So much texture. Guys, we need to cook with more broccoli rabe. That like needs to happen like ASAP. This is such a good vegetable. If you're not cooking with broccoli rabe, this is the time. This is the season. I think so. Can somebody fact check me on this? This is when it's cheapest. Go now. It's so easy. Blanch it and saute it, and it has so much flavor. So much. It's such a simple little green, and yet it has so much to say. It has so much personality. Late winter? Really? Well, they had it in my supermarket, and they normally don't. Whatever, Natalie. It's fine. So good. So fresh. Spicy, acidic, salty. It's got all the herbs. It's got all the vegetables that you want. It's rich. It's filling. I get hype over greens also. Hi, Freddie. Welcome on in. Lentil salad. So simple. So delicious, guys. And that's it. That's going to be it for today. Guys, I know today was a bit of a shorter stream. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, I'm going to be seeing you all this upcoming Sunday, 6:30 p.m. EDT, not 5, 6:30 on Sunday. Is that clear? Can I please get a yes, chef? Thank you all for being here. Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a really, really good rest of your day. Be safe, be well, have a good Friday night, have fun a little bit. I got to go clean up, got all this stuff out to get out of the way. 6:30 p.m. EDT once again this Sunday, every Wednesday, every Friday, every single Sunday. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for all of your support as always. And I will be seeing all of you super, super soon. So take care and be well and bye-bye.